Hello and welcome to your number one horror podcast on Pornhub, Getting Off. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-hosts, the Core Four, from the She Leads Showcase. She is the host of the She Leads Showcase, Inside the Mind of In the Crowd, and Storytime with Miss Katie Kinsey Bay.
Hey.
From the Getcho Podcast, also representing Marks with Mikes, it's your boy Juss.
Yo, we here.
And I can say it again because he actually showed up for a fucking show. 1/3 of Young Kings Wrestling. The only doctor with a BBC, Dr. Riq Baker, BBC, here on Getting Off. How you guys doing?
Great, man. Great.
I'm cool.
Dude, I listened and Malik showed up and I was like, no, that's not real. TC's just doing the voice.
I was so surprised.
I had 24-hour notice, like out the blue. I said, oh, okay. I'll take it.
That was a great episode. Like, that was like a cipher because you had my homies, Dom and Darrell in there too.
Oh, man, yeah.
And then Jaylan too. Like,
I realized it was 6 deep.
Man.
I'm like, yo, we gotta make sure we keep this from going crazy long.
Like, y'all could have kept that episode 3 hours. I would have enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I would have enjoyed it.
Easy.
It could have been like easy, like a Drink Champs, like you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been one of those, you know.
Yeah.
But even though you guys should go check out Young Kings Wrestling, you should also go check out the She Leads Showcase and all of the great things Katie does over at the She Leads Showcase YouTube channel and everything Marks with Mikes and Getcho Podcast, even though they talk a lot about basketball for some fucking reason. That's not what we're here to talk about. You've got 4 general wrestling podcasters who share a love in horror movies and all things horror. And today we are here on a horror podcast to talk about a movie based off a video game series that is very much based in the horror genre, Twisted Metal. I want to thank anyone and everyone who is checking us out. If you are watching us live at twitch.tv/Creation World, you've got that Amazon Prime subscription. You get Prime Gaming, which gets you a bunch of cool shit for all your favorite video games, including a free sub that you can give to your favorite Twitch streamer every month, whether it is me, and it should be me. Give it to me. You love me. I'm awesome. I'm great. Or anyone else like Rivet City Radio or any of our friends, or just whoever you really enjoy watching. Show them some support because it costs you absolutely nothing. Takes money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket. I just got another Amazon order. He got more money. I need some of that back. So, yeah, do that. You can also be checking us out at youtube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. All of that helps the algorithm, which helps us find new listeners.
Okay, Will.
Right, Will? Also, there's a notification bell. We like to say flick that bean up top. Get notified every time we go live, whether it is Getting Off, Smacking It Raw on Saturdays, or Monday through Friday with the Creation Conversation. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's get into what we're here to talk about. Overall, let's steal from Smacking It Raw. Twisted Metal on Peacock. Spit or swallow?
Swallow.
Yeah.
We all enjoyed it. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Katie, we briefly talked in the pre-show about this before we got started. Riq, Juss, and I have all sat down and played the video games. You have possible general secondhand knowledge from seeing your brother play the video games, maybe, or at least a racing game.
It's like the everything Sweet Tooth seemed so familiar, so okay. I think that's what it was.
I don't know if I want to do that. I've got a display case here that I can open up, and I have a Sweet Tooth pop toy that I could pull out, but like then shit's gonna fall down, and I don't know if I want to fuck with it. I should have done it beforehand. How did you feel about the show with not a whole lot of knowledge about it going in?
I loved it. I didn't expect it to be as funny as it was, especially Anthony Mackie of all people to be fucking hilarious. It's just every episode was like its own little story, and I loved it. It was 10 episodes, like 30-ish minutes each. Like it just flew by, and I didn't want it to end, but sadly not to.
Oh, I binged it all in one day. My first watch through. The second one, I split it up over a couple days, so I can take notes and fact check some things to make sure I got my shit straight and I knew what the fuck I was talking about for today. But no, the first time I put it on, and 5 hours straight, I just episode after episode. Next thing I know, it's over, and I'm like, holy shit! I just watched that whole fucking thing, and it was great, and I didn't regret a second of it. Right. Juss and Riq, as fellow people who have played the video game series, thoughts on how well it did an homage to the series?
I mean, I love the fact that we didn't just like go out and do, you know, what people expect to see that played the game, stuff like that. Like we told a nice lengthy story, well, different stories that just kind of interweaved through every episode. And then in the last episode, we got that, okay, let's throw everybody together and do the shit that people love to see anyway.
Season 2.
Yeah. But I mean, I had to watch it because they casted the perfect Sweet Tooth. Like I don't think anybody could have been better in this role. So that was just like knock out of the park. So everything else was just icing on top, honestly.
100% agreed. I mean, yes, like the story was there, right? And I'll come back to the story in a minute. But everyone knows that like I love comedy. And the fact that it was thrown in as kind of a dark, twisted comedy in the midst of telling like this story and this overarching thing that happens at the end, loved it, because that's what twisted metal is. It's like it's wild and crazy, and it's unique in its own thing. Like it's not supposed to be taken too seriously, which they really didn't do in this show, which I liked. You know, they had like small jabs and small references and all this stuff, and Anthony Mackie I thought was perfect because it's comedic timing, and it also helped with is her name Stephanie Beatrice from from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah. Like I thought she acted really good in drama, but she's really good in comedy because that's what she was known for on that show. But yeah, man, it was dope. It was good. I don't know if you ever seen like that movie, The Postman, with Kevin Costner, because this is kind of the same shit, but.
So, a couple things. One, the setting for this world, they pull characters from all sorts of different versions of Twisted Metal games throughout the franchise, but the majority of the lore here is pulled from Twisted Metal Black, which is why I thought it was apropos to do for a horror podcast, because of all the games, Twisted Metal Black is probably the most seated in horror. But when you look at Twisted Metal as a video game franchise, yes, it's cars and explosions and action, but the whole goal is to win the tournament and then get your wish at the end. And everyone's got a fucked up backstory of why they want to be there and something that they want to fix. And the wish being granted is always a monkey paw situation where you got to be careful what you wish for when Calypso grants that wish.
Oh, man.
Right.
That made me
I'm
think
actually
of,
looking forward to.
That made me think of the Sweet Tooth when he got his, because he was like hell bent on, I gotta I forget who it was. It was like his parent, one of his parents or something like that. Whoever was that survived when he went on his rampage, and he's like hell bent. He's like, I want you to bring me to her, or bring me right to her, and he sends it to. It's like, okay, all right. Wish is granted. I'm sending to her. She's in a fucking casket, and she's 6 feet under. Right. Yep. So now he's stuck in the casket with her.
Yeah, no, there's some really fun, fucked up endings. Like, think like playing Mortal Kombat, but if like everything ended bad for the characters when they won the tournament.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, episode, like I said, this essentially takes place in a setting or a world where Y2K or something very similar to Y2K actually happened, and the world shut down, internet, everything just kind of took a shit. We all lost our shit. People with money got together and sectioned themselves off into cities behind walls, and the rest of the peons were stuck kind of out in the wild, learning to survive for themselves. And that's kind of where we're at. We talked about it. We're going to break it down episode by episode. So episode 1, the other thing I love about this is every episode has a license plate for a title. So you got to read the license plate to figure out what the title of the show is. Episode 1 is Will You Drive? WLUDRV. Will You Drive?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple I was stuck on.
I've got them here. Don't worry. I've deciphered all of the codes.
Cool.
Essentially, episode 1, we get introduced to John Doe. John Doe drives Roadkill in Twisted Metal Black, and it's essentially somewhat kind of the same backstory. It's a man with amnesia who doesn't know what happened to his family, who wants to win the tournament to get his memory back and find out what happened. The opening scene, like him driving through the fucking mall, which, by the way, is one of the Ridgepoint Mall is part of a level in one of the Twisted Metal games.
Yeah.
You have the OG Twisted Metal game falling on his windshield.
Yeah. I think it's 3. Is it 3 or I know
I think it's
kind of early.
I think it's 4 or Twisted Metal.
Is it
Black,
4? Okay.
I thought it was black, but I don't know.
I have it written down as Twisted Metal Black here, but for some reason I shortened everything, and I'm worried that I fucked some shit up. So we'll see. We'll see how it. But John's what they call a milkman. Essentially, he's an Uber driver in the apocalypse. He makes runs between the cities for rich people and gets payoffs. And in this case, he is requested to make a run to New Chicago to pick something up and bring it back. And if he can do this successfully in a time limit, he will be granted his wish, access into a city. Again, everything in Twisted Metal, you get your wish, and it's never really what you want it to be. Very key there. So John accepts this, and he's on his way. We also meet Quiet and Loud.
Yes.
Brother and sister duo. They're driving Shadow. If you guys are fans of Twisted Metal 2, and that very familiar purple hearse, even though this was a little more pink. I thought it might be Thumper for a second.
That's what I was thinking the first time when I saw it. Was like I was like, they can't get a lowrider, so maybe they just went with the hearse. But then,
they're driving the car called Shadow. Raven, who is Nev Campbell, who is the one that recruits John and all of that, is actually a character in Twisted Metal Black, and she drives Shadow in Twisted Metal Black.
Okay.
She's also running New San Francisco. She's putting on a fake show for John. Like, did they fool you guys at all with that bullshit?
Honestly, once they started doing the whole, she's got a family, she's got a baby, I'm like, okay, something is off here. And then the husband gave it away, or the supposed husband was giving it away with like the weird stares and the Jello comment. Like, all right, what's the catch here? What's going on?
It got me, but I also back now.
I didn't really catch on until they went in the apartment, and just seeing him like kind of just do his job as just sitting down with the child, and she really wasn't engaging with the child. As someone who has a child, like, that ain't your kid. I know that's not your kid. That's somebody's, And then, sure enough, when like he drives off and she's like, "Oh, get it away from me!" Like, I'm like, "Oh, this bitch."
I think honestly, like, this might have fooled. Man? Well, this is the thing. This might have fooled people who don't know about the series at all, because they see Nev Campbell and they think, "Oh, Sidney Prescott, she's innocent. There's no way that she's got anything sinister going on." So the husband and baby act was totally normal.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's not how it works. Not at all.
You said they got you, right, Katie?
Yeah.
You also don't have a kid, so like you don't have that connection. Like, because I had the same thought. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm like, listen, as a father, knowing my wife, there's no way she's just like in the kitchen having a conversation, chopping shit, not like looking at the baby or talking to the baby or anything. Like she acted like that baby wasn't even fucking there.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I get stay-at-home dads and all that shit and like boss bitches and like she's got her job and she's running a city, but like there was no nurturing for that child in her whatsoever, and that threw me off a little bit. I'm like, something's off here.
Right.
What's up,
Like,
Devin?
Like
Devin.
blink twice,
Street in the house.
blink twice if you're a hostage. That's what. What's going on.
Right, for real.
So we're introduced to Quiet and Loud. Their brother and sister, who apparently in the apocalypse, cops are still abusing minorities for no reason.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing changed. They run afoul of the law, self-appointed police. And this is the part that actually kind of hooked my wife, is when he shot himself because she did not see that coming to save his sister. She goes, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "All right, where's this going? What are we watching here? What's going on?" Because they basically run them off the road, get them down on their hands and knees, and then Agent Stone, who, by the way, in this show drives two versions of the cop car Outlaw from the Twisted Metal series, who is the driver of Outlaw in Twisted Metal, or no, I'll get there.
I think it was
he actually drove
OG.
Agent Stone in the OG drove Crimson Fury.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
He's also from Twisted Metal Black, and I believe he drives Outlaw in Twisted Metal Black as well.
Yeah.
But he's an asshole cop who thinks he's bringing the law and order back to America, and he's on a fucking power trip. He basically puts a gun down and tells them that they need to decide which one of them is going to die, which one of them is going to live. And the brother decides to off himself to save his sister. Sister gets branded and sent on her way after having to watch her brother.
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, I love what they did with the character. I hated him, but I love what they did with that character because I hated Outlaw in the game. So, like, we kept continuity there, but it's like the work they went into the character development there to just make him as much of an asshole as possible. Like, that was good.
Right.
On top of that, Agent Shepard drives, who is Stone's right-hand man, the one that,
the long hair
the one
dude.
that, we'll talk about him jerking off to manga later.
Oh my god.
He drives Crimson Fury and Twisted Metal head on. He's more of an FBI agent at that point. But yeah, so he's also a character that they pulled. And then the brother and sister cop duo are also drivers of Outlaw in the series. So a lot of stuff here throughout the series. And that's really episode 1, as we get to know John Doe, what a milkman is, what his mission is. We get introduced to Quiet and Loud, shortly Loud, and Agent Stone and his crew, and all of them are going to be essential going forward.
Right.
Any other thoughts or anything I missed? Like little, like I got most of like the
No, you got it. I mean, but
beats of the episode, and then this was in this show.
Cypress Hill, man. The show starts off with him.
The music
driving
is fantastic.
Yes,
Oh,
the soundtrack is dope.
Because
Soundtrack
all of
is
the
dope.
music ended in like 2000 or 2005 or some shit.
Right.
So like, it's all just
Yeah.
everything I grew up on. It's fucking great.
Right. And it's cool because like Cypress Hill had a song on, I can't remember which one. I can't remember if it was Black or 4.
I think it was 4.
Maybe
It was
3.
4.
Okay, yeah, 4. They had a song. It wasn't the one that
3
they were
was
using
all
in the show.
Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie did the entire soundtrack of 3.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, but that was dope to pay that as like an homage to. And the fact that he was using a WRX, I love that car. I love that car.
As a Subaru driver myself, I'm like, fuck yeah, Subaru getting some love.
Yay.
You're a super.
And then
Now, mind you,
sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off, but then he, John Doe does the combo. What is that? The invisible
It's God mode.
combo. Yes. When he's holding the steering wheel, like left, right, RL. Like, yeah, I forgot the combination, but that was the combo.
that's
Episode 2.
episode 2. Yeah, that's episode 2. But yeah, it's
Oh, okay, sorry.
L1,
I'm
R1,
just too excited.
L2, R2, up, down, left, right, left, down, up.
Right. Sorry,
and that's
yeah.
God Mode in Twisted Metal.
God damn.
And he actually says it out too. But yeah, no, like I said, we got to know all the characters. Also, Evelyn is not like I thought Evelyn was gonna be Roadkill, which we'll talk about, but it's not actually a car that's in the Twisted Metal series.
Right.
The opening drive through the mall and them like shooting and showing like, oh, it's cars fighting. Like that was really nice to start it. And you got a really good idea of like Katie said, how funny this fucking show was going to be, him talking shit and having a good time, drifting through a fucking mall, shooting people up and murdering them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like Anthony Mackie, I know there's a lot of y'all out there that just know him as being, Falcon / New Captain America. Anthony Mackie got some comedy roots, so the man is funny.
I mean, I know him as Clarence. He's got real nice parents.
He was Pac. He was Pac.
Right.
He was Pac.
No, he was Clarence.
I forgot he was Clarence.
Clarence's parents had a real good marriage.
Oh, that's amazing.
Clarence who went to Cranbrook. It's a private school.
There you go.
Oh,
all right. Episode 2. Title 3RNCRCS. Does anyone want to guess what that is?
wait. Say it one more time.
3RNCRCS.
Something.
3-Ring Circus.
Katie got it.
Oh,
3-Ring Circus.
There you
Is
go.
the license plate and the title.
College. 5 years.
Well, it makes sense.
Go ahead.
Hey.
I wasn't even going to try to attack that one when I first saw it.
Go ahead. That Little Wayne degree.
John stops by to see an old friend to get a map to help him get his way to New Chicago. And there's a discussion that he has to go through Las Vegas and an ominous discussion about we know who runs Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, Las Vegas, the home of Young King Wrestling's own TC Fontaine, is run by the one, the only Marcus Needles Kane, a.k.a. Sweet Tooth. And again, this is a character who's pretty much everything they pulled from Twisted Metal Black. So you got the name Marcus Kane along with the alias Needles in Twisted Metal Black, and then everything that we'll see with like the Blackhurst Asylum later on and that whole like him being locked up there and escaping, all of that, most of this version of Sweet Tooth and his canon comes from Twisted Metal Black. Fun fact, his father, which they briefly mention later on, saying, I think the stepdad says something like, oh, you'd be living in a taxi with your father. Yellow Jacket is a taxi in the first Twisted Metal game that is driven by his father, Charlie Kane.
Really?
So,
Yes.
Huh.
So they dropped that in there.
I remember the taxi. I didn't know that was his father driving.
Marcus Kane is also, I think in Twisted Metal 2, the name of the driver for Roadkill before Needles Kane, which we find out is Marcus Kane later, is Sweet Tooth. Essentially, John has to go through Vegas. He runs into Quiet along the way. They met once before because Quiet and Loud were trying to steal his car. Didn't work out for him very well. Quiet is kind of along for the ride. They're at each other's throats until this psychotic clown in an ice cream truck shows up. They decide to put their differences aside and work together to get the fuck out of there. As Justin said, Evelyn doesn't really want to work for Quiet when she's driving as she tries to steal the car from John Doe. So he hops in the driver's seat. He hits the God mode. Car speeds up. They get the fuck out of there, crash into a hotel, and they're on the run from this crazy clown that they were just shooting at, who just wanted them to come to his show.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Oh, man.
And he kept saying it too. Are you coming to the show?
Yeah,
And it sounds creepy and ominous coming from him, right? Like it sounds fucked up coming from him. Like I don't think I want to see that show, but like
I know it was Will Arnett, but good. Did you guys catch it was Will Arnett? Because it was like so creepy.
Well,
okay.
Well, I was listening.
Lego Batman, so like
okay.
I was listening close because I wanted to see like if they would actually have him do his own voice. But after a while, I'm like, yeah, no, that ain't him. He's just doing the body work.
Right.
Yeah. You know, so
But
Will
no,
Arnett
they
voices Sweet Tooth, and Samoa Joe kills it because everything Sweet Tooth is very much from the body and from the emotion and the movements.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, you had to nail this right out of the gate because, let's be honest, without Sweet Tooth, there really is no Twisted Metal. Like that's 90% of all the marketing for all the games and stuff like that. Like, you had to get this right, and they couldn't have got it more right. Like, even his character throughout the series, like, the way they base it off of Twisted Metal Black, like, it's in the game, it's a lot darker, but there's always like those little hints of his dark humor in there. Yes. But they blended it together so well with a nice healthy of dark and comedy together. They killed that shit.
Let's talk comedy, because I know just wants to talk music. Sweet Tooth beats this man's ass to the thong song.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but yes.
And then, while having him pinned up against the slot machine, he starts singing the thong song with him, and he's like, "Do you love the silvered-haired god?" Listen,
don't lie to me.
There are 2 references in this show that makes me think Travis fucking wrote this shit, and the fact that "Thong Song" by Cisco played and they referred to him as the silver-haired god is one of those.
Oh my gosh, come on, Cisco in that time.
Nobody went harder for Unleash the Dragon than Travis did back in the day, because it literally just had dragon in the fucking title. Like,
oh my god.
He also loved Cisco and the music and all that, but like,
I mean, listen, Cisco was that dude.
Oh,
like, you couldn't tell me Cisco wasn't killing it. Dude, so I get it.
Live, remember like those MTV Music Awards that he would do? They would like
listen.
There was one that he did. I think it was with I think it was like with Maya or something like that. It was on the Unleash the Dragon album, and he just rolls for no reason. I guess later on he said he was trying to do a backflip, but he's like, "Oh, I can't fucking do it. There's no room." So he just rolls onto the stage.
Like, Cisco, I was too young to be jamming to his music the way I was, but I did not give 2 shits. Like, it was on like all the time.
And he has like one of the best R&B songs too, you know.
Right. There was another
girl, my life is in.
There was another show. I don't remember if it was one of the DC shows or something else I was watching, where they had a fight scene at the end and Thong Song was playing for the fight scene. And I just love that this is like a thing that people are fighting to the Thong Song. I don't remember if it was a Marvel show or one of the like DCCW shows. I think it was DCC. I think it was like I think it was Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
One of their like final battles.
Oh,
the Thong Song was playing during Legends of Tomorrow. Yes.
Come on.
It's I'm not bullshitting. So essentially they crash. Again, they're not like John and Quiet are not friends. John is trying to get the fuck out of there, get his car fixed. He doesn't want to leave it. Quiet's trying to escape. She makes some noise, so John gets caught. She crawls into the vents. Sweet Tooth, at some point during whooping John's ass, making friends with him, inviting him to actually see the show that he was talking about, captures Quiet and sticks her in a glass terrarium.
Something like that, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
At which point, we're introduced to Harold, Sweet Tooth's sack lunch.
Yeah,
for those of you who don't know, Harold is Sweet Tooth's prize for winning the original Twisted Metal game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
What?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep. Sack lunch, man.
Sure sounds about
We gotta
right.
eat.
It makes sense.
John was gonna let Quiet fucking rot, but then realizes she's got the keys to his car, so he convinces Sweet Tooth to let her out because he needs an audience. And what sounds better than hand meat clapping together? Multiple bits of hand meat clapping together or slapping together. Big meaty hands slapping meat.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
So they sit down, and essentially Sweet Tooth goes on to do the in-room entertainment portion of the show that you'd see on TV, basically telling you everything about the hotel and all that it has to offer, while feeding them White Tiger.
Yeah.
Apparently that shit
And
is
then
banging.
that's what I hear is White Tiger is fucking delicious in the apocalypse. If you ever get your hands on some. At the end, he asked them for at the end, he asked them for their critique. John, being someone who thought he was smart, lied his ass off because that's what got him here. That's what was getting him out of it. Sweet Tooth was not having that shit because he knew his performance was ass. Quiet, on the other hand, finally spoke the fuck up for the first time in the entire show and said, "Your show fucking sucked." John's like, "What the fuck are you crazy?" Sweet Tooth appreciated honest feedback.
Yes.
John went along with it. They got the fuck out of there and made friends with the crazy clown along the way.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
We are also introduced to Mike and Stu.
Oh my god, yo. These two.
Mike and Stu in the series are two security guards who got exiled for sleeping on duty that ran foul of some fucking cannibals who were getting ready to cook them up and eat them alive before the law saved them, and then they just kind of signed on so that they didn't die and joined law enforcement by lying about who the fuck they were. Mike and Stu are also the names of the drivers of the monster truck Hammerhead in Twisted Metal 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There you go.
Also, Stu is far less willing to do fucked up, dirty police shit than Mike is. And I feel like Mike didn't live long enough in the real world to see what the police were doing to be as okay with just like murdering people for shits and giggles as he was.
Oh my.
Yeah, no. He for sure didn't.
Because, like, essentially, they got this nice setup, but, like, you get a punch card, and for every person that you kill, you get a punch, and then you get food. And they're all like, oh, how do we get a punch card? Then they find out, and Stu's like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. And Mike's got a big old smile on his face. He's like, fucking feed me Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes, baby.
The fact that they was going that crazy for Salisbury steak,
dude,
is insane to me.
But remember, we're in the apocalypse where white tiger meat is a delicacy, apparently.
Listen, give me the white tiger meat 10 times over some Salisbury steak. It is not that deep.
Y'all remember Encore? Encore? The TV dinner?
Oh, God.
Encore, come on.
Kill it. No.
All right.
That's three things I'll take from this episode that was like a lot. White Tiger, Thong Song, and Salisbury steak. It's like, yo, I love this show. You know what I'm saying?
My elementary school palate had me thinking that Salisbury steak was dope. Like,
you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
What's
like,
up,
you don't even have to
Procast?
chew. You don't even have to chew that.
So I'm saying, like, Adulting is realizing that this shit was garbage.
I was in from the first episode, but watching Samoa Joe whoop someone's ass while dancing to Thong Song definitely sold me on this episode.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Like, that was, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm 100% in. I don't give a fuck what else. Just give me that. Just have him dancing to 90s R&B while whooping people's asses for the rest of the show. I'll be good.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
And I mean, he beat the shit out of him, too.
Dude. Wasn't the suit that he was wearing while he was doing the play, wasn't that from, like, was it Twisted Metal? Is that from Twisted Metal Black or is that from Twisted Metal 3?
So the suit he wears is the suit from Twisted Metal Black. I think
okay.
You're talking about it's either Twisted Metal 4 or Twisted Metal 3. The pink suit.
Yeah, the pink, because I remember I forgot which one it
when
was.
He's performing.
Like,
yeah,
where he had like a suit for the game.
It's one of his outfits. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything else from episode 2? You guys want to laugh about, touch on the relationship between John and Quiet just evolving here and how they deal with each other's another great fucking thing about the show. So
yes,
it's good shit.
Nothing, Katie? I don't know. You look like you had something.
No.
All right. Well, here's your time to shine because episode 3, license plate NTHLW 1.
No. Oh, wait. Something with law. That's all I can think, because that's
Is it like North
this-
Law?
No. NTHLW1. Justin, stop Googling.
I was doing it for my own personal. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, all I can think is something involving law, because I know this is like one of those episodes. This is episode where it has.
You do have that correct.
I'll throw it away.
Episode 3 is titled "And the Law Won."
Oh, boo.
I mean,
I'll do my
it's
phone
apropos
away.
though, because we get Stone's backstory here of basically how he's treated like a rent-a-cop. And disrespected by everybody in the town.
Them
no one
kids,
takes him
good
seriously.
kids, man.
He's a
Fuck them
bitch.
kids.
Good.
Finally gets fucking fed up after just being mistreated. Grabs his gun, goes, accidentally shoots a child,
Oh my gosh.
which is actually really part of his backstory from, I think, Twisted Metal Black.
How many
Like the
fucking
bear and all that?
games are there?
So you
Oh,
got
geez.
Twisted Metal 2, Twisted Metal 3, Twisted Metal Black, Twisted Metal 4, Twisted Metal Head On, and then there was a 2012 Twisted Metal remake.
Yeah,
and I
remake.
also
For
think
PS3.
Twisted Metal Small Brawl. So off the top of my head, 8.
Why the fuck are there 8 games?
Because it was a
But they-
fun fucking game, Katie.
But most of the story, if you like paid attention to the Black storyline, Twisted Metal Black, like a lot of it's from there. Like
That's
most
what
of it is from there.
everything you guys keep saying, and you're like, oh, it's from Twisted Metal Black.
Well, that's definitely the darkest game. It's got
Yeah.
the most, like I said,
Yeah.
the horror in it. That's why I thought it was really like when I'm watching this, I'm like, there's horror elements to all of them, but this one's really like in the everyone in Twisted Metal Black's like a fucking serial killer or
Ooh,
essentially
Yeah.
set up to be some sort of fucking horror movie character in some way, shape, or form. Villain, not hero, to be clear.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And Black was the one that kind of really started delving into like stories, if I remember right. That was the one
Exactly.
that like really kind of going in depth with each character. So
yeah,
that was
Where you
like,
got, like-
probably a big inspiration.
you got the cut scenes with everything that was going on with them. And it was still a lot of animation and like flashes but a lot of voiceover work as to like who they were, how they got into what they were doing and all that. Whereas before you just kind of get like a driver card that had a
Yeah.
brief background of who they were on it. And you wouldn't see anything until you won the game. And then you'd
Basically.
get something at the end.
Right.
This is what I wished for. And this is what I got.
Hmm.
Yeah, the first 3 were like Tony Hawk's games, like the pro skater games. You just skate, and
There
like
you go.
they were basically the same. But then when they came to Black, it was like, if you ever played Resident Evil, where there was a story within the game, and they had like cuts during the levels, like that's how Black was. And I think Black brought a lot of people back too. Like,
Oh,
Back to
I
Black.
think it kind of brought the franchise back also.
I've got it on my PS5 right now.
You see?
My favorite is Twisted Metal 2 though, because that's the game that I started on, and you can blow up
Same.
the Eiffel Tower. So like
yeah.
It's Twisted Metal 2
Nothing
is
surprises me.
Oh man.
there's so much cool shit that you can like blow up and alter to make like new parts of the road and shit in these games, or like hidden spots with like teleporters and shit. Like if you shoot the right spot, it blows a door into something. You can go in there and it'll teleport you to a different part of the map. Like secret tunnels. There's a bunch of fun shit. The graphics suck now though, and the handling of these games is fucking terrible because it was not made to play with joysticks. It was made to play with your fucking D-pad, and that was it.
right.
So, all right. So, episode 3, like I said, we get Stone's backstory. Finally, like this guy comes to him. He's like, "I need help." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna prove to everyone I'm a real policeman." And he gets there, and he sees a bunch of people he knows, and then they start mocking him and making fun of him. So he just says, "Fuck it," and shoots them all. And poor little girl hiding catches a stray, and instead of like feeling fucked up about that, he just blames everyone else for what the fuck he just did and uses that, as cops do, to empower himself and become an even more fucked up person.
Yep.
Quiet and John are on their way. They get stopped at a checkpoint by the law. Mike and Stu are there to ask them for their open road license, which is not a thing. John thinks he can sweet talk his way out of it. Quiet sees what the fuck is it? Agent Shepard.
Oh yeah. The dude that branded her.
And was standing there with everything that happened. Loses her shit, gets out of the car. They both get tased and arrested. And then essentially, like, being arrested in this world is spending time in the DMV.
Which, I mean, it's pretty spot on.
So we're going through this whole thing, right? Like, they're in the DMV. They find out that they have the map. Stone's been putting up blockades so that he kind of has control of the roads and who comes and goes and what's going on. So they start torturing them to get information out of them with music and paperwork.
Yeah, the pencils.
Macing them while making them do an eye test.
Yeah.
And waterboarding. Yeah, regular waterboarding, because
that
never goes out of style.
I guess not.
It was Barbie Girl, right? That was the song.
Yeah,
yes,
fuck yeah, Barbie Girl.
And it's so perfect, like the timing too.
Which John's fine with, but once you put it on high blast,
I love this song.
That was a rap for her.
Oh, you think I got a problem with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's like I love this song.
Yeah, no.
By the way, who doesn't love that
Barbie
song,
Girl?
It's a great song.
It is. I mean, it's not something that I think my 8-year-old little sister should have been listening to and singing, but
Yeah, no, it's fine.
when you look at the lyrics,
Yeah. Well,
when they both refuse to break because John's not going to give up his boy who's making the maps, Stone's like, fuck it, kill him, and sends him to their death. And this is Stu's chance to prove himself, because they gave Stu a test, right? They sent him out there, they gave him fucking sniper rifles, and they were shooting fish in a barrel. All they had to do was kill 2 guys who were trying to steal from a truck, and Stu couldn't do it. Mike picked up the slack and saved him. So they're like, all right, now you got to prove yourself. Go kill these motherfuckers. And like I said, you're in the DMV, you're sitting there, your number comes up, there are lines you got to follow. One is a red line, and it basically leads you right out the fucking Hoover Dam.
yeah.
Like, just walk right the fuck out.
Right.
And fall to your death.
Great.
They convince Stu to not kill them and to come with them and help them escape. And then they leave that man behind.
The trunk, dude.
The trunk.
Oh, I loved it. That was hilarious.
They get all their shit. They get Evelyn. They're on an escape. And this man gets left behind. And his boy Mike doesn't even have his back.
Nah, Mike sucks.
The number of times Stu was going to save Mike with the way Mike treated him.
It pissed me off.
Also, fun fact, at one point while they were figuring shit out, Quiet made a little detour, was looking for Stone, found Shepard in Stone's office, jacking off to a manga magazine, and killed him with his dick in his hand.
I mean,
That's like, is it that bad in Apocalypse Town? Like,
oh man,
sheesh.
Because
I mean, he saw a woman coming. He did offer her the opportunity to help him finish what he was doing before she killed him.
I mean, out of all people to ask, I don't think she would have been the one to throw that offer to.
Right.
You know, history and all that.
Yeah. It also kind of helped that everyone's been picking on Stu for being fat and for not having a killer instinct, where they were able to get him to help them escape and then just fucking abandon him. Stu gets arrested and, sent to the DMV. We're going to talk about that in the next episode. Things were not going well for Stu. He had a bad time on his way, but he was saved by the hero of our story, the hero of the franchise, the hero of this show. in the next episode, which is, unless anyone has anything else from episode 3 they want to talk about real quick.
No, that's pretty much. I mean, that was pretty much it. I mean, we pretty much hit everything on the mark.
All right.
I'm trying to think.
Episode 4's license plate. WHZ DARE.
One more time.
There.
WHZ DARE.
Huh. Fuck. WHC. So WHZ Dare?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Huh.
Was there?
Nope.
No? Okay.
I don't know.
You guys want a hint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Oh, he's there. God fucking damn it.
I was close. I was like, was there? But okay.
They tell a knock, knock joke in the episode as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Because his ass was falling asleep to the heater.
Yep. So,
Which who does that? It's already hot outside, and then you have the heat blasting too.
Yeah, I can never.
He a different dude.
I got a shit ton of notes here for this episode because there's a lot in this episode. So John and Quiet are on their way to New Chicago. They get surrounded by semi trucks and grabbed by what we find out is the convoy because the milkman that worked for the convoy got killed and Granny needs her meds, is what we're told. What Granny really ends up needing is some stuff to ease the pain as she slowly dies.
Right.
John, being the smart man that he is, though, catches Granny on her bullshit when they wheel her out, and he's like, that oxygen tank ain't even fucking hooked up to anything. Quiet is a little more concerned with the Granny Sutra or Karma Sutra handwritten book that Granny's got about all the sex positions.
Yeah.
Concerned is an interesting word.
Her name is Granny Dread. Granny Dread is the driver of the Hammerhead monster truck, the same one that Mike and Stu drive, but in Twisted Metal 3. So Mike and Stu drive it in 2. Granny Dread drives the monster truck in 3.
Okay.
Miranda Watts drives the car known as Twister, which we find out later. She says there's a Twister coming. In Twisted Metal Head On and Twisted Metal 2. Or she's actually the sister of the girl from Twisted Metal 2. So Miranda Watts drives in Head On and is the sister of Watts, who is the driver of Twister and Twisted Metal 2. The original Twister. We also have a couple semi-trucks in the Twisted Metal series. There's Darkseid, which is one of the main villains in the first movie or the first game, and then comes back later. And then there's also Juggernaut. Now, Juggernaut's the only one that actually has a trailer, so this is probably referring to Juggernaut because Darkseid's just the fucking
it's just
cab.
a truck. Yeah.
Yes. John and Quiet have to make a run to meet a girl that Watts threw out of the moving convoy to go pick up the medicine. She's a florist. She's their
Pharmacist.
Pharmacist. There you go. That's what I'm
Katie.
That's perfect. Appreciate it. By the way, Amber Rose also drives the car Flower Power, which you see the VW Bug parked by a tree in Twisted Metal 3. So she is also a character, drives a car called Flower Power, and it's a bug. It's there at the house. Amber's not really a trusting woman.
No.
She poisons them.
Yup.
And then tortures them until she finds out what.
In a real sick way.
Yeah, like they're well, I mean, John's really the only one that got tortured. Like Quiet was just sitting there paralyzed watching. John's the one that got the shit pushed to his skin and started burning through his skin and shit. till they finally are able to convey that, hey, we're really with the convoy. That milkman died. The holy men, who I can't wait to talk about, killed him. And I have the list of shit for Granny Dread. Then she helps them. They get the stuff back. We give Granny Dread a nice send-off, almost like a Viking funeral, but not quite, because we're in cars, not boats. They blow her the fuck up after she dies.
Yeah.
Well, a crazy send-off, too.
God damn.
You know?
Yeah.
Just a wild send-off.
Yep. Also, if you've been paying attention, Quiet is missing a finger. There's a thing about people missing body parts and where they come from, and some of these new cities have really fucked up white people in them who have weird hobbies. We're going to talk about those. But Quiet got a new metal finger on the convoy, so she could flick people off. Very nice of nice to hook her up.
Yeah.
And this is where Travis also comes into the franchise, because after they've done their run and they leave the convoy, they hear the holy men, so they go to hide. And they stop at a movie theater where they actually kind of start to bond. They're watching what movie?
Blank Man, baby.
And John is running the scenes, and they're voicing things out and having a good time. Quiet says that the only movie that she's ever seen in theaters has a couple cowboys and a mechanical spider, which of course is Will Smith's Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
And, if you've ever watched anything Creation World, you know that the one person Travis loves more than himself in this world is motherfucking Will Smith.
Oh my gosh.
So we got a Will Smith Wild Wild West reference and Cisco in the same show. I am 100% sure Travis was in on this.
He wrote it.
Also, John, thinking he was doing a good thing, decides to wash Quiet's jacket along with the rest of their clothes because they're dirty and stinky. But it's the jacket that she took off her dead brother that he gave her, and essentially washed any remnants, smell, DNA of her brother off the jacket, and now she is fucking pissed.
Right.
Yeah.
And she went from horny to pissed in like 2 seconds, because like she saw him shirtless and saw his back, which I didn't think, like, don't get me wrong, Anthony Mackie is a good looking dude, but I didn't think like he had what I would say a sexy back. Like he didn't look like Raquel Gonzalez flexing out there and shit.
We're not pardoning his back.
But
Which
honestly,
it was throwing me for a loop, because I'm like, are you mad because your brother's brains ain't on the jacket anymore? Like, is that the kind of attachment that you have? Like, I didn't think about the fact that, okay, maybe it still got like his scent or something on it. Like, none of that was occurring to me. I'm thinking like, yo, your brother's jacket is crime scene evidence. Like, he's just washing that shit. So like, I don't know why you're mad about that.
No, I think he gave her the jacket before he shot himself. So I don't think he was wearing it when he shot himself.
No, he was.
Well, no, but like,
I think so, because he has that line. Remember, he's like, "I'm pretty sure it's not only your brother's blood on there."
Oh,
yeah.
But it's like he shot himself right next to her. So even if he gave it to her beforehand or whatever, like he still got that shit somewhere on.
I guess it did splatter on her. So
right. But man, he
also
got that thing clean in a movie theater scene, man.
Listen, in these
the
times,
still
you
good.
learn how to do that shit. Also, I forgot to mention that Granny's homemade Kama Sutra book went with Quiet. That was her parting gift for making the run. So now she has got crayon-drawn pictures of fucked up sex positions in cars that she can try. I wonder who she's going to try them with.
We'll come back to this shortly.
I want to know who drew those for the show. You know what I'm saying?
Granny also makes a point to say that her favorite position is called the drive-through and gives her the page to look at.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yes.
I definitely forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
So, that's a thing. Anything else from this episode?
Just Blank Man, dude. When Blank Man came on, I'm like, I went from like, obviously I told you like I love the show as it was going, but That was it. When Blank Man came on and they were ad-libbing how we ad-lib on, you know, when we watch our Pornhub watches and all that, I was like, yo, this is straight up our alley right here, you know?
It was us.
And it was great. It was, dude, come on. Blank Man, who doesn't love Blank Man? Shout out to Daryl. He was Blank Man for Halloween.
Oh my god.
I was Quail Man from Doug, and he was Blank Man from that movie.
Not Quail Man.
Said Quail Man. You had a whole belt around your head,
bro. I can tell the whiteys over my pants.
Quail Man. I see it.
I can see it too.
I gotta find the picture. I'll send it to you.
Oh man, yeah. Nah, you could throw anything on Damon Wayans, and I'll watch that. So, like,
I'm still a big Major Payne fan.
I was about to say, like that's.
Remember when he was like, is he still asleep? And he sleep with his eyes open?
When he planted all those white kids and started watering them like plants.
Oh yeah. With the sprinkler.
Yeah. All right. Episode 5. You want to write this down, Katie? You got a pen and paper?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
I've kind of been waiting. I figured you would at this point, so you could look at it and see it, and you haven't yet. So I'll give you the option. It is CRZSRDS.
Crossroads.
Riq got it.
Yeah, there's at least one or two of them that I got.
Yeah.
So like this is one of them.
This one actually, I saw CRZ. I was thinking crazy.
Yeah.
For a second, but it is Crossroads. Just had to go check someone out at the bodega. He'll be right back.
Say, somebody asking him why they got the cat on the bread.
So the Kama Sutra wasn't the only thing that Quiet left with the convoy. She also left with what they called the yellow, one of the flowers that paralyzes you. And she realizes that as great as things are going with John, she needs to get to Stone. And now that she kind of likes him, she doesn't want to drag him along in her bullshit.
Yeah.
So she drugs John with the yellow flower that she got from Amber and some. Well, first off, they find CDs in a car, and she's upset that John stopped to get CDs. And I'm pretty sure it was motherfucking Hanson, and she knew the track listing for Hanson.
It was Hanson.
Yeah.
We confirmed. I was about to say we confirmed.
Yes. But anyway, she wants to go to Topeka to go after Stone, so she drugs John so that she can leave him and he won't follow her, know where she's going. Tries to keep away, even though she told him that's where she was headed. But she said it was a safe haven, not like I'm going there for revenge, because she hasn't opened up to John yet about like what's going on with her and her feelings and blah blah blah. She also hides in the back of an SUV and kills 2 cops, and then while driving around starts hallucinating her dead brother.
Right.
And then he's like, is this really how you want to remember me? Like, you can't fix the fucking hole in my head? And she closes her eyes, and then poof, he's better. And like they have a really fun, insane in her head dialogue as they're driving around going to look for this cop to murder.
Yeah.
Right.
Normal things.
That was funny.
Jamie and Carl Roberts, the brother and sister, when in episode 1, when Stone referred to a couple and they said, we're brother and sister, and he goes, I know what a brother and sister are. Yeah. And then he did the same thing here, and they're like, but we're brother. I know what a brother, like, I wasn't sure what they were getting at. Like, are we pushing at the fact that?
Well, I caught it too, because they each said we have the same mom. He's like, I know what a brother and sister is. Like, okay, now I got you. Because they're explaining it like, oh yeah, we share the same parents. Like, no, don't explain it to me. I get what you're saying. Because what's his name said that in the first episode too.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're also drivers of Outlaw in multiple games. Not just, I think Carl is a solo driver in one of the games. They team up in one. Jamie looks a lot like fucking what's her nuts from the third Twisted Metal movie. Jill Roberts. Is it Jill?
Jill Valentine.
The third one, Jill Valentine. Yeah, she looks in the game. She looks a lot like Jill Valentine, but in like a really sexy cop suit, and she's driving Outlaw in Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the second movie.
Yeah.
The cop with the leather skirt and the blue tank top.
Y'all didn't see none of the Resident Evil movies? He ain't crazy.
Well, that's why I was confused because he said Twisted Metal, not Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, Resident Evil.
I was like, I fucking love Resident Evil. That's what fucking threw me off. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Well, Jamie Roberts and Jill Valentine look very similar from Resident Evil and Twisted Metal.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
They're giving orders to catch and execute Quiet and John. They're like, go find them, kill them. They escape. They fuck shit up. Like, let's go. Let's do this, right? We also check back in with Stu, who, like I said, was arrested and had some shit going on. His friend betrayed him, was going to let him die. And as he's sitting there and he's waiting for his number to get called, Sweet Tooth just shows up with his machete and starts murdering all the police officers.
Dude.
In the most extravagant and fantastic way possible. When he finishes, he gets a round of applause from all of the people that were arrested because, of course, why the fuck not? You know, including Stu, who isn't very comfortable with violence, but in this case, I think he was a little happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They all decide to follow him. Sweet Tooth takes a liking to Stu. He's like, we're the S brothers because I'm Sweet Tooth and you're Stu. We're the S brothers. And he looks at Stu like a puppy dog, and he wants to train him and bring out that killer instinct in him and bring him along and be friends. Also, Mike is hiding, pissing his pants, and Stu lets him live.
Couldn't have been me. I'd have got him the fuck out of here. Pissing it all.
Quiet ends up getting caught by Carl and Jamie running off. Stone's like, I'm going to handle this. They go to the Thrills and Spills amusement park, which is a level in the Twisted Metal reboot from 2012, where they have the showdown. You see her go after one of the, I believe it's the outlaw cop car that he was driving, or the SUV.
I think it's SUV.
Yeah, right? She goes after the SUV. He shows up in the cop car and blindsides her. Use the SUV as a decoy.
Flip it.
Because she was in the SUV.
Car.
Yeah.
Cop car. Okay, he comes in the SUV.
She got the cop
he's
car
driving the
from
SUV later. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And he fucks her up. Like we're doing the fun Twisted Metal thing. Like this is what it is. It's cars shooting each other, driving around crazy places, doing fun shit, and she's about to die.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention that John got a little gift on his way out from the convoy as well, and that was one of Watts's blood missiles. He tried to bargain for more. She would only give up one. She didn't even want to give up one, but Granny gave him one, and he wasted it to save Quiet. Also, maybe we should. When John woke up, there was a dude who was wearing a gas mask, the crotch cover, who was trying to fuck him. No, I feel like we do. Like, dude was about to suck a man's dick on the side of the road.
I mean, let's also talk about the fact that he thought John was dead.
Oh, was gonna do it.
So we're throwing necrophilia into the mix,
dude.
Well. Yeah, that whole scene that was disgusting.
Whoa. And he was dressed like Demolition.
Yeah,
but he was.
He was, bro.
And it's like, this to me is like, like real time what bath salts looks like.
Let me ask you guys a question, right? Okay, Riq,
what's up?
You meet a girl.
Oh boy.
Tumultuous relationship, but you guys start getting along. You kind of like this girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She drugs you, leaves you on the side of the road. When you wake up, there is an old creepy white man trying to suck your dick and then murder you when he realizes you're alive. Are you going to go after this girl and try and save her, knowing where she's headed? Because she left him a note on the back of one of the Kama Sutra pages confessing the truth.
Knowing what I know about them particular people, nah, she on your own. especially after you drugged me and almost got my quote unquote dead dick sucked. Like, nah. Because I swear to God, if I wake up 2 minutes later and some shit is going on, everybody dead. I'm gonna find out just to kill her ass myself.
If that was Riq, it would have been a mouthful. That guy might have choked.
Oh wow! Whoa!
So John saves her with a blood missile, pulls her out of there, and that is the end of episode 5. Which I think between me talking about how giant Riq's penis is and all of that, it is a perfect segue for us to run some ads. Now, if you guys want to show us some support, please stick around. Please watch the ads. Go use the promo codes. Get yourself some cool shit, whether it's some W Energy drink to help keep you up for whatever you're doing, whether you're watching us late at night, playing video games, or, fucking your significant other, or just, a random Tinder hookup. Dog.com to make sure that your furry friend, and I'm not talking about the one between your legs, is well taken care of with leashes, bowls, collars, and all sorts of things. Or take care of the furry friend between your legs or your significant other with an offer from Adam and Eve. We have all of those available. If, however, you don't want to check those out, you can go to patreon.com/creationworld, where for $1, you get 2 awesome shows, the entire catalog, whether it's Return to Wrestling with me and Travis. Literally this morning just recorded the new episode that will be available for Sold Out 1998. WCW Sold Out 1998. Also, we have Multiverse with Travis and Mara. And like I said, it's everything from 1995, the very first Nitro, all the way up to 1998 Sold Out so far. And we will be continuing through. But you have access to all of those episodes for just $1 on top of all of the episodes that Travis and Mara have done for Multiverse, where they talk animated DC films. For a little bit more, you get that along with all of our shows ad-free, so you don't have to sit through the same ads over and over again. I mean, I've used the Adam and Eve promo code a couple times. You guys should too. I'm growing a fucking. I'm gonna need like a chest with a lockbox and shit for all the toys that I'm getting at discount prices. We're having fun over here in the Ritter household. I'm just saying.
Brother and sister on the way.
Can I get out? Oh yeah.
On that note, please support our sponsors.
Spice things up in the bedroom, then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Did you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Attention dog lovers. Are you looking for high quality products to spoil your furry friend? Then you need to check out dog.com. Because you see, dog.com is the go-to online store for all your dog related needs. They offer a huge selection of dog food, treats, beds, and more. Plus, they have products for all types of dogs, from puppies to seniors and everything in between. And the best part, you can shop with confidence knowing that all their products are made with your dog's health and happiness in mind. Dog.com only stocks top-rated brands that you can trust, so you can rest easy knowing your dog is getting the best. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Dog.com is doing a big warehouse clearance sale. And all you have to do is go to dog.creationworld.com and you can get up to 80% off on all sorts of items like toys, treats, bones, harnesses, bowls, leashes, and anything else you can think of. So go to dog.creationworld.com and take advantage of this sale right now. Spoil your furry friend with the best products from dog.creationworld.com today. Link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try Dubby, the ultimate energy source. Dubby is a powerful, clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, Dubby can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, Dubby is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix Dubby with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your Dubby today. And for a limited time, use code Creatia at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try Dubby today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
And we're back. Go get some Dubby. Go to dog.com. Take care of your dog. They got shit for cats too. So, treat your pussy well. And same thing with Adam and Eve. Treat your pussy well. Figuratively and literally. Episode 6. Listen. Oh, Riq, sorry. What was that?
Yeah, I'd also like to say my friend is not furry. There is no fur anywhere on this body whatsoever.
Well, we know you and Juss have alopecia. That is without saying. However, your furry friend could be furry on somebody else.
Probably. You never know.
You never know.
Hold on, I'm sorry. But I want to say when John gets that car where it's like, he shoots it down and he goes in there to add more CDs to his collection was great. Saying was it, I think DMX was one that he found in there, and then the second one was Hanson, which was great because that's like Charlene's favorite was Hanson. And then they're just like he was about to throw it away, and Quiet was like, no, don't throw it away. I was like, it really gets good after like track 2. And he's like, oh, really? And he's like, not that like I know or anything.
Yeah. And
then later on, Umba plays. So then like it's great, man. I love this show. I love this.
I forgot you were checking out the bodega when we talked about that.
Yeah. Were they asking you why the cat was on top of the bread? Because I know that's a thing in there. I ain't been in bodega in a minute, but I remember that.
The cat is like another worker.
Right.
It's like another employee. You know what I'm saying?
I think our ad break was a perfect transition into episode 6. License plate DRV THRU.
Drive through.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what did we say drive through was earlier in the episode?
Grandma's favorite position.
So, Quiet and Loud, we get their tragic backstory because John and Quiet stop at a local fast food joint inhabited by the dead bodies of a cult who thought aliens were coming to collect them. So they wrapped themselves in tinfoil, froze themselves in a meat locker, except for one guy who just pinned a note to himself saying, please don't move my body. But this fast food joint, and it's part of their tragic backstory because essentially they were working migrant jobs, picking fruit in fields, and they were given an opportunity to sign a contract where they would be indentured servants, is the PC way of saying that, for a few years. And after their years were up, they were supposed to be allowed and accepted into the community and given a house and all of that, right, for time served. What we come to find out is these rich white people had no intention of ever doing that. They punish their servants by chopping off body parts and then wearing them as jewelry,
Mhm.
like ear necklaces and finger bracelets and earrings and
Yep.
motherfuckers are missing toes and tongues and all
Ugh.
sorts of shit.
Someone was missing a nose.
The servants are not allowed to speak. Quiet ends up running into her brother Loud, who is working in the fast food industry, serving food, while she is a servant to one of these terrible rich white people. We also get a scene where there's an active shooter, and they all just kind of seem annoyed by the fact that it's happening, but they're not too concerned because I guess there's bulletproof glass. And this woman lets everyone know that her contract was up and they lied to her and she wasn't set free and she wasn't given any of her shit. And then the Reapers come for her and take her out. The Reapers are driving Shadow, which we know at the beginning of episode 1, Quiet and Loud were driving. So
Right.
they ended up copping that car. They killed some Reaper. Quiet slit the throats of some Reapers and they got the fuck out of there. Also, I think the Reapers are wearing skull masks, and that may or may not be a reference to Mr. Grimm riding the motorcycle. I believe the Reapers were the name of the motorcycle gang that he was a part of in one of the games as well.
Yes.
So,
Sure.
You don't know.
That's an OG. That's an OG.
or no,
Yeah, this is way
Reaper
back.
is the name of Mr. Grimm's motorcycle in the remake, and yeah, the skull bandanas and helmets are part of that biker gang.
Right. Okay. Because there was always like 2 or 3 of them together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I definitely remember there was a group of them. Pains in the ass, those motherfuckers.
That's not what we want to talk about, though, ladies and gentlemen. None of that matters. What we need to talk about is the fact that John and Quiet fucked in a ball pit in multiple positions repeatedly.
I tell you what, that's now on my bucket list. I never knew I needed to do that shit until I saw this fucking episode.
Okay, so Riq, here's what I'll tell you. As someone who, for a brief stint in his life, worked in a fast food restaurant, the majority of the people occupying those places are children, and they treat a ball pit like they do a swimming pool.
I know.
It's
Okay.
foul.
It is.
I need my own ball pit.
I mean, you can. So we did that for Zoe when she was real little. We got like one of those kiddie swimming pools, and then you can just buy the balls for a ball pit online and dump them into like a kiddie pool and make your own ball pit. So if you can find like an inflatable pool big enough to fit you and anyone from your life, maybe that you met in Vegas or along the way when you're out visiting TC or going to wrestling shows, if you guys could fit in an inflatable pool and then you just get enough balls to fill that inflatable pool, y'all could have some fun. Maybe try the drive-through or any other. I mean, listen. We're wrestling fans, right? Maybe come up with your own Kama Sutra of like pile drivers and shit. The pile drivers essentially like Tombstone's just 69.
Dude, reverse pedigree?
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted some shit.
Yeah, come on.
I just
Spanish trap? Doubles. Okay, anyway.
Lasso from El Paso.
Oh, see now you got it.
The Power Bomb.
Yes.
Anyway.
Or the classic Mandible Claw. With choose your lips, whatever you want.
I mean, I get my wife. Never mind. I shouldn't say that on stream. Anyway.
same for the after show.
So while all that's going on, after they fuck, they're sitting down there having a little heart-to-heart, and Quiet's like, I still want to go kill Stone. And John's like, dude, he almost killed you. Like, I just saved you. Why would you want to go back? You're not going to, like, come with me. Be my partner. Ride with me to Chicago. Come get inside. And he doesn't realize, like, this is triggering for her. Like, this is PTSD because she thought she was getting inside and she had some fuck shit happen. But she also didn't, like, convey that message to him in any way, shape, or form. Like, their communication is terrible in this early beginning of their relationship. So she's like, I don't want to go inside, but he doesn't know why. He doesn't get it. He thinks, it's all fun and fancy games and steak and people that don't take care of their children. having good times on the inside. So she's all pissed off at him because he doesn't get it and he's saying shit that's triggering her. He's pissed off because he thinks she's just being stubborn, can't let shit go, and he's got like the sweetest deal ever that he's offering for. Mind you, he's just like promising her shit that he can't even deliver on. Like they never said, hey, you and any one of your choosing. Like they just said you can come in. They didn't say bring somebody along with you. And you should know better by now. I feel like living in that world, you should know better. Like they don't just let people in, let alone two people for shits and giggles.
True.
Well, also too, like if you like kind of like watch carefully, he's very like cocky about himself too. So like he knows that he can get away with a lot of stuff. Like, you know, when he goes up to the post and he's like, oh, they know me here. I'm good here. Like, you know, just because he's like the best milkman, like he still feels like you know, he can get away with stuff. Which kind of bites him in the ass later on. No, you never picked up on that?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean I picked up on it with him. I'm just saying, like, in life, I don't know
weird.
anybody that is cocky and just thinks that they can get away with saying a bunch of shit whenever they want. Because
that definitely
nobody at all.
Okay, now I see where you go.
Can't relate to that at all.
Interesting.
Okay,
then she's trying to cook some food. He shows her how to turn the gas on. They get some burgers. They bond. They start playing Never Have I Ever. She drops the line, never have I ever had sex in a ball pit twice.
Ooh.
And then we're back at it, ladies and gentlemen. It is full on smacking it raw in the ball pit. They were getting offed all over the balls in the ball pit. He passes out and snores. She's not a fan of his snoring. She tried to escape twice. She got caught by the bell over the door the first time. The second time, she was smart enough to climb out of the window because she watched him climb in the window because there was what they call a Watkins storm. Now, this is a reference to one of the abilities that you can pick up in the game. So as you're driving around, there's all these random drops. There's like ricochets, which are like fucking bombs that bounce around, and when they hit your car, they blow up. You've got power missiles, homing missiles, fire missiles, and a lightning bolt. And when you pick up that lightning bolt, then you hit that, anyone in the vicinity of a certain spot of the game gets struck by motherfucking lightning, and it sucks because it is almost like an ultimate death.
That is so. When I got to do that to somebody else, that was just so fucking.
It was the best thing in the world.
Oh,
it's like getting the blue turtle in Mario Kart.
Yes,
right. That's exactly what it's like.
The very first map in Twisted Metal 2. The lightning goes off in one of the spots where the health is. So if you get that lightning and you back up and you wait till somebody goes in to get that health and you fucking nail them.
Oh,
they're in a cage. They can't move. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
best feeling in the world. You've also got to remember, like, this was before online gaming. So when you're doing this, you're sitting on the couch next to someone, talking mad shit, waiting for them, split screen. You see them, like, you're watching split screen. You see them go in.
Yeah,
ready for it. So,
oh man.
Eventually, though, even though John got hit by the Watkins storm because he couldn't let Evelyn, his car, we'll talk about why Evelyn is so important to John. Couldn't just let it sit out there in the lightning storm. He had to go park it. And he got hit. Right. And she kind of patched him up. He wakes up, thinks she bailed on him, but she's really just getting all their shit together. And it looks like she's on board now. Like, she's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go to Chicago. I'm going to fuck you. You know, Dick was good in the ball pit. I could do this. Like, let's have some fun. We'll be a family. We'll move in. There was talk about moving in and living together, and then they both kind of chickened out of it real quick.
Yeah. Well, one of them did.
Things are going well. Listen, drive through. The main thing you need to know is they fuck in the ball pit, and just go watch that episode for the ball pit fucking. Like,
yeah.
The quiet, loud backstory is sad and heartbreaking, and also really relieving when you watch her slit those guys' throats and they escape, and as a brother and sister. That's a very nice touch, but mostly just them fucking in a ball pit.
Yeah, but it also gives you the explanation as to why when you first see her, like, she's mute basically, and even like when she first got captured with her and her brother, like, she was quiet because it was like that trauma just kind of sat with her for all this time after, so she's just used to not talking at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's also something we didn't touch on. John named her quiet because she wouldn't fucking talk early on, and like episode 2 or 3 because
Yep.
she just wasn't fucking talking. He's like, "What's your name? Really, you're not going to tell me your name? Fine, I'll just call you Quiet. If you want to be
Right.
fucking quiet, I'll call you Quiet." And we never find out what her real name is. She is just quiet
No.
for the rest of the series.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, too, like when when Quiet and Loud were talking about like the alien stuff, isn't that like a callback from? I think it's 3, right? When like there's a thing that you can get where they confirm that aliens exist.
Yeah,
Is that from 3 or is that from 4?
I think that's from 3, where
Okay, yeah.
one of the ending stories has to do with like dude's crazy and wants to prove that aliens exist. It's a whole thing.
It's like
Um,
a voicemail or something like that, right? I can't remember,
Yeah.
but I know that it ties into one of the older games. I just can't remember if it was an actual recording.
that is also part of the Never Have I Ever in the discussion where they kind of get back together. Is like,
Mhm.
do you believe in ghosts? Who do you
Mm.
think? Who do you think are on ghost ships? Who do you? What are you going to tell me? You believe in aliens next? You
Right.
don't believe in aliens? You think?
Right.
Which I believe in aliens and ghosts, so like I'm with them on this.
Those
I don't
are
know where the fuck she was getting her information from.
Right.
She was literally talking to her dead brother an episode or 2 ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That
about
was
to
the
say,
first thing.
like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then my favorite, I don't get me wrong, Drive Through is up there, but episode 7, my favorite episode. License plate NUT H0UZ.
Nut house.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Come on.
We get the origins of Marcus Kane, and this is the most fucked up horror shit in the entire show.
Yeah, this was
Because yes, he is a creepy dude in a clown mask with a machete and like a bondage clown who enjoys murdering people. But how did that start? He started as a child actor who was being upstaged by a dog and finally just said, fuck it. And in the middle of a live recording of his show, took the knitting needles from the old lady and murdered the dog in front of everybody because even his stepfather and mother were like, oh, but the dog's a better actor than you. And like, he just couldn't
Mhm.
take,
that's fucked.
yeah, he couldn't take
Yeah.
it. He snapped. He got sent to multiple facilities, eventually as an adult, ending up in Blackhurst Asylum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which they returned to because he needs closure. We find out that he went and found his mom and dad after he got out and the world went to shit, brought them back to the asylum and locked them up and left them there. But he doesn't need them now because he's got Stu and fans.
Right.
I guess.
This is also where they mentioned his dad driving the taxi, which we talked about earlier. His dad being Charlie Kane, the taxi driver for Yellow Jacket, the first movie or first video game.
First game.
Blackfield Asylum, not Blackhurst. Blackfield Asylum. He's got severe mommy and daddy issues, and after Stu kind of showed him where some of the outposts were. They were going on a little trip before they got there, liberating some things, getting some followers, getting a cult behind him, if you will, to follow him around and applaud his performances because he took his performance on the road as per what John and Quiet said he should do, and this is how he thought to do it. Stone's kind of pissed off. Stone wants him dead, so they find out that he's over where he was and where he's going. And Stone and Mike and some other people show up and murder all of his followers while they're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and shit in the courtyard. And Sweet Tooth is confessing his whole life to Stu so Stu can understand him better because that's his little puppy dog and he loves him.
Right.
Stu is completely freaked out. And again, here is Mike. On some fuck shit, getting saved because they miss Sweet Tooth. He murders everybody.
Mhm.
Mike is the only one left alive, and Stu says, "Hey, he can help us." And Sweet Tooth's like, "If you want a dog for yourself, you got to clean up after him," and lets him come along. And the entire listen. I love Sweet Tooth, right? In this show. And I love the bond between Sweet Tooth and Stu. And Mike was just trying to drive a wedge between them the entire time. And it's like, bro, you've been a shitty friend. All Sweet Tooth has done is evil, but evil, nice things for Stu. Taking care of Stu, confided in Stu. He doesn't make fun of him for being fat.
Right.
He doesn't, expect him. I mean, eventually he expects him to do fucked up things, and we'll talk about that. Like, he's trying to bring the killer instinct out on him, but it's because he wants him to survive. He wants him, become his own man. And Mike's just here just fucking shit up.
Good.
The entire show.
Yeah.
During this time, John and Quiet make it to New Chicago, which is run by Calypso. We have seen signs on the road. Calypso is real.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, Calypso is the person who organizes, runs, and grants the wishes in the Twisted Metal tournament. He is the head of everything Twisted Metal, and all of your fucked up dreams come true.
Sounds like a swell guy.
Which they made it, though, at least for me, they had me thinking that like Nev's secret identity was Calypso for the first couple episodes.
Yep, same.
But I guess that's not the case.
No, it's not the case. They pick up the package. We never see Calypso. He's a disembodied voice. The whole thing's fun, like her throwing a rock at the thing and finding the entrance because he's like, that's not going to work. And like her geeking out about being in the tunnel with the disembodied voice and how it's like, being in a horror movie. Like, it felt very Saw-esque a little bit before they got the package. Calypso leaves him with the line, may all your wishes come true, John. Because Calypso knew why John was making this run. Right. And when you guys find out what he risked his life for and everyone else's life for later on.
Oh my gosh.
We'll talk about that. As they're on their way back and trying to find a route, John notices that there's a pits. And she's like, what the fuck is a pits? And he's like, oh, it's a stop where you go, you gas up, you share stories, this and that.
Right.
There are 2 rules at a pits. Don't talk about the job that you're on, and no weapons. Which Quiet makes very clear that the no weapons rule is very stupid because anything could be a weapon, and starts talking about all the different things you could use as a weapon.
It's true.
And she was right.
Spoilers.
When they get there, John runs into, would we call her his ex-girlfriend?
No. I thought that's what they were kind of like referring to, like his ex, like.
I mean, he would
somebody he had a
and
relationship
and then
with.
go on the road.
I would call her a former associate.
Do you have any former associates like Bloody Mary?
There have been several, but that's not important. She is a former associate. This is, by the way, they described each other. I mean, well, at least by the way he described her. That was a transactional thing that was going on.
It didn't seem transactional for her.
Right.
Well, that's why I said the way he described it, it was a little bit transactional. But she
that's what I'm saying. John went into that whole thing looking at it as, I stop here. I what did he say? I dump off my load or
drain the tank.
Drain the tank.
Yeah.
And then he's back out on the road. Mary felt like they had something and wanted John to take her on the road with her and get her out of this life and have him show her how to be a milkman. Like, she really, really thought that despite the transactional situation, they could be more and they were going to be more. And then some people came and burned down her home, and he just never came to check on her to see if she lived. He just like, oh, well, she died. On to the next one.
He was told everyone was dead.
Well, the guy has no, relationship skills or any type of people skills for that. Like, he just, lived his whole life doing this shit. So, I mean, what do you really expect from him?
He's like oblivious to everything.
Oh, yeah. the amount of times that this happened.
Yeah.
Like, the Jello thing. Like,
Yes, Jello. Yup.
We didn't talk about that. At the very end of episode 1, when they're doing the dinner and he's sitting there with
Raven.
I kept thinking Shadow because she drives Shadow. Raven. They bring out dessert and they say Jello. And at some point, for whatever reason, he thinks that is how they say goodbye in New San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So that is how he says goodbye for the rest of the series until she breaks it to him that why do you say Jello? And he's like, it's a thing. And she's like, no, it's a dessert. And he's like, no, like there was this guy and there was this dinner. And then at the, oh, fuck. So, yeah, it dawns on him that he's been making an ass out of himself. However, Bloody Mary is extremely jealous and not happy that John showed up and is letting this girl ride around in his car and go on adventures with him and all the things that she thought she was going to get to do that he doesn't get to. And John gets drunk and fucks up and breaks rule number 1. Tells Mary what the prize for delivering his package is going to be. And Mary tells everybody, and ladies and gentlemen, inside the pits is a very variable who's who of Twisted Metal drivers. So, first and foremost, Bloody Mary drives the car Spectre in Twisted Metal Black. Mr. Slam, the man with the penis the size of Riq's, who can smash watermelons and all sorts of things with it, is the driver of various pieces of heavy equipment, back-end loaders and things like that throughout the Twisted Metal series. Pit Viper is from the OG Twisted Metal. She's the only one that survives the onslaught that happens when the fight breaks out. Petunia is the drag queen who drives the drag queen car in Twisted Metal 4. And the pizza boy in the puffy jacket is from Twisted Metal 4 as well. So essentially, she goes and tells everybody, hey, this is what John's got. Everyone wants to get in. They want what John is promised. And then John's like, yeah, but did you guys discuss, like, who's going to get this motherfucker? Like, you guys are going to kill me, but great. Then who gets it? So everyone starts fighting everybody. Mary is trying her hardest to kill Quiet because jealousy.
Right.
Yep. Quiet ends up killing Mary because Mary doesn't give her a choice. And John's just like, Mary, damn it. Oh, well. And then we're out. Like, not even really shed a tear for that.
Right.
Yeah. Sitting there like, oh, that sucks. That pussy was good, but that sucks.
Like I said, Pit Viper is the only one that isn't in the brawl who kind of survives, and it looks like she is in cahoots with the law. She calls up, I believe, Stone to let them know where they're at and where they're headed. Mm-hmm. The whole fight scene is fucking great in the bar and ridiculous. Mr. Slam ends up taking his giant cock and smashing a watermelon like Gallagher.
Yes.
To kick the fight off because it's a whole thing and it's about to be a show and we're waiting. And my favorite line is John, when she does it, he's like, you couldn't have waited 2 more minutes because we all just wanted to see him slam his giant dick. Because she says, the whole thing is Quiet meets him. He's the bartender and he's talking about how everyone has a code name and how important code names are. And she's like, what's yours? And he goes, Mr. Slam. Why are you called Mr. Slam? Because I can smash anything with my giant dick. And then you wonder, are we going to see this thing? And he doesn't pull it out, but you see the outline in the shorts. He grabs a hold of that motherfucker in his shorts and swings it like a mace in medieval times.
Yeah. Like Gallagher.
He could have used that as weapon. Yeah, like he could use that as a weapon if he really wanted to.
Oh yeah. Somebody take that one of those to the side of their head. They're done.
Ooh. I'll just be on the side like the people in the Gallagher audience with the
like you just gotta think like the size and weight that shit was going on with, like you can't take a blow to the head with that. It's over for you. Yeah.
Ooh.
You check it out.
John and Quiet get away with their package after destroying what's essentially the last pits on Earth. Mr. Slam lives, Pit Viper lives, John lives. Everyone else, including Bloody Mary, is pretty much dead by the end of that.
Pizza boy.
Lost a lot of milkmen. Episode 8. We're getting there. We're almost done. 3 episodes to go. I don't think I need to give you the license plate for this one. The license plate spells Evelyn. It is Evelyn's license plate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I'm not even going to waste my time with that. I didn't even write down. It just says Evelyn. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is John's backstory. We find out that John woke up in a car behind the wheel with amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Some white lady stole his car and held him at gunpoint and just left him out there in a Watkins storm by himself.
Dude.
He ends up stumbling across a Subaru buried in the weeds that becomes his home, which is why this car is so important to him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Bloody Mary at one point makes it very clear to Quiet. Kind of hard to say, clear to Quiet, that John will choose this car over you. You will never be more important than his car. Puts that seed in her head, which is very important for what's about to come. But again, lack of communication, the reason why would be nice to share so people don't get their fucking feelings hurt. Anyway.
Okay.
He ends up learning how to drive this car. He says it's intuitive. We find out later that his dad kind of taught him how to drive and shit like that. He stops at Zorko Bros Scrap and Salvage, which is the first level of Twisted Metal Black. This is where he finds parts to fix up Evelyn to get her running, as well as the license plate that he's going through, which is how he picked her name, which we find out later. And as they're driving, he lets Quiet drive, which was one of the things that she's like, maybe he doesn't like you behind the wheel. He likes the wheel behind you, because she saw the fucking wheel mark on Quiet's back when they were fucking in the car.
Yeah.
He lets Quiet drive. Now she's feeling confident. Now she's feeling cocky. She's like, oh, he's letting me drive his car. He loves me. Not more than he loves that car, though. She finds the picture of his family that is the only remaining thing he has left. And she's looking at it, and she's like, I'll be careful. And it blows out the window.
Oh, gosh.
Then they stop to look for it. She's trying to help because she feels bad. John says, stay with the car. She doesn't listen. Some holy men come. They kill 2 of them. One gets off with Evelyn. Now they found the picture but lost his home.
Damn.
And John is not going to stop until he gets that fucking car back. They track down the holy men.
Yeah, that part.
Listen. Fuck living in the city. I'm being a holy man.
I hate you so much.
Hold on.
What?
So you doing that cocaine in the cup shit?
It is the apocalypse, bro.
Man,
Listen, they had dom strippers. All the alcohol and drugs you could want, and it was free sex and fun for everybody. All the sex, murder, and drugs you could have, and it was all sanctioned by a pastor. Nobody was getting in trouble.
Man, that wasn't no fucking pastor.
It was a pastor. And
preacher.
The preacher, well, preacher,
yeah,
essentially. But this character is also pulled from Twisted Metal Black, who is Preacher, who also has like the weird little story he told there where he's like a demon baby possessed him. Legit, the backstory of the Preacher from Twisted Metal Black was like exorcising a demon in a baby that possessed him, and then he murdered his whole church and everything straight out of the game. Like,
I also want to
add funny anecdote.
I also want to add, because I had to look up his name because I always fuck it up, but it was played by Jason Mantzoukas. I fucking love that guy.
Oh yeah,
he was in The League. He was in a lot of like funny ass shit. Me and Daryl love
Big
his
Mouth
podcast.
Big Mouth. Yep. Big Mouth.
Oh, Big Mouth is that show, man.
Jay and Big Mouth.
Jay and Big Mouth. He was in Children's Hospital a couple times.
I was gonna say the fact that this dude plays characters that just wants to fuck inanimate objects, like Jay fucks pillows and couch cushions.
Yeah,
this dude wanted to fuck John's car, which really upset John because John was not going to let this dude fuck his car
like that. Yeah.
Nah, Jay was really gangbanging pillows. That's some crazy shit.
That show is ridiculous.
Dude. Yeah, when they had Jason Mantzoukas come out, I was like, "Yo, this is it. I'm cool."
At first, I thought it was Nick Kroll because like they kind of sound similar.
Oh, they kind of look
And
alike.
I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's not Nick Kroll."
So Preacher runs the Holy Men. It's a fucking vigilante biker gang on fucking meth, literally and figuratively. And they infiltrate that to get Evelyn back. Evelyn is given to Preacher as a gift. He wants to fuck the car in front of everybody. John steps up and challenges him to a fight, thinking, oh, I can take him. Has no idea that this man is on all sorts of drugs and also apparently knows like capoeira or whatever the fuck.
Dude. Fucking
Like,
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo with his bitch. Thank you, Jess. Also, backstory for Preacher, like I said, he drives the car Brimstone and Twisted Metal Black, possessed by a demon baby in his backstory. Also, he is supposedly, according to Twisted Metal Black, the one that cursed Sweet Tooth with the flaming head.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Digging it.
John ends up getting his ass whooped. Like he cannot beat Preacher. Quiet runs off to find another car so they can get the fuck out of there and escape, and she can save John, and they can go get this package and make this delivery and live happily ever after. John is not leaving Evelyn, and ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn does not make it.
See, now you know what's really fucked up about this is they
That you
really
cried
decided.
when they blew a car up.
No. It's they decided to play My Immortal by Evanescence, which why the fuck did you do that for me?
Yes.
I was
Did
like,
you cry when the car blew up?
No. I cried. I there were little tears when My Immortal started playing because that song fucks me up. I was like, the audacity, the disrespect. Some bullshit.
You have to set the scene.
Not with My Immortal.
Something imagine how John felt. His home was destroyed.
Dude,
Yeah,
they
his
really
home
brought the
blew up.
emotion though.
Everything.
They really did. you know?
Yeah.
Evelyn was the closest thing John had to a girlfriend prior to Quiet showing up.
True.
Yeah.
It was his everything, you know.
Yeah. He doesn't remember his family. All he ever had was Evelyn, and Evelyn blew the fuck up. And John told Quiet, I'm not leaving without my car. You can get the fuck out of here. Peace. And she did. And then she watched the explosion, and she just knew that it was John, and John was dead. And then she was really, really sad.
Yep.
Distraught.
What else we got here? Quiet thinks John's dead. Chooses the car over her. Yeah, I think that's it. Episode 9. Again, an easy one to figure out. R0ADK1L Roadkill.
Nice.
The name of the car that John Doe drives in Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, it's in various other games, driven by various other people. So Mike is trying to convince Stu that maybe they shouldn't be hanging out with Sweet Tooth. Like I said, he's on his bullshit. Like Sweet Tooth has been good to Stu, and Mike's trying to ruin it. John finds a CB radio in one of the cars and calls the convoy for help. They happen to find Quiet on the side of the road, about to be killed by a vulture that she sits down and has a little heart-to-heart with.
The vulture.
Because he's empathetic, but also he's got shit to do, you know?
True.
Amber is back on the convoy. They patched things up after. So apparently Amber poisoned Watts because Amber wanted to, let their love grow, and she needed a place to spread out, and there wasn't enough room in the convoy for that. So Watts threw her ass out of a moving semi-truck. But they were able to fix it because Granny told her, like, don't let that shit ruin the love that you have. Like, you need to go back to her, and you guys need to scissor the fuck out of each other and have a good time. And that was page 70 in the Granny Sutra. Quiet. I made that up. I didn't want to be obvious and say 69, so I just bumped it up one to 70. Quiet is extremely pissed when John shows up because he chose the car over her and never explained why. And because she spent like, I don't know, a few hours, maybe 24 hours thinking that motherfucker was dead and crying. And then here he is alive and okay. So like, fuck you for that too, bro. John spends the entire episode trying to win her back. They're given the car roadkill by the convoy to fix up so that they can get their package and blah, 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 blah. And the cops end up killing some of the people in the convoy. So the convoy then decides to join the fight. They were just going to drop them off at the opening that they heard about in the blockade, which is a trap, by the way. Agent Stone says the best way to do it is to let them believe that they have a way to get through. And they will come, and then you trap them. Something about shooting fish in a barrel or some analogy. I don't remember.
No, you're right. It was that.
Oh, yeah. Shooting fish in a barrel. He's like, the best part isn't shooting them, it's trapping them in the barrel.
Yeah.
Because he's a sicko.
Yeah. So they're working on the car. She's pissed. He's trying to win her over. He puts a special spot in the glove box for all of her hatchets, because we didn't even talk about the fact that this woman throws hatchets like nobody's business.
Yes.
Dude. Yes.
She's nice with it. She's very nice with it.
Juss, did you have some?
Oh no, I was doing remember the motion? Because he was like, how do you do that? And he's just like, just like that.
Because you were like, dude, and I thought like you were about to say something.
He also did that, but you looked down as he was doing the motion.
Yeah.
It's the flick of the wrist.
Yes.
Same thing.
He also he finally wins her over, asks her to be his partner, makes it clear that they're sharing this car. It's not just his car, and lets her name the car. And she goes, well, how did you name Evelyn? And he's like, oh, I just found a license plate that said Evelyn. She's like, really, motherfucker? Like, so they name it Roadkill because it's a junker that looks like Roadkill.
She does not like grasp the concept that this man's like learning skills are just so elementary.
Because there's no communication in this relationship, Riq.
Like, God damn.
Like,
I just like she takes me as someone that has a little more sense than the average person in the show. Like, you should be able to pick up that there's something, there's a little, lack of a lot going on up there with this guy.
Like, he's slow in some things.
Oh, for sure he is.
So Stone sets the trap by putting a hole in his blockade, which is the only way back to New San Francisco. Carl and Jamie are hiding out in shadow, which Quiet notices, and then she's like, oh fuck, this is a trap, because they were writing repossessed or something along those lines on the cars after they
resisted.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because cops, of course.
That's their
cops.
Yeah. Watts is ready to go. We actually get to see Twister, which is the fucking drag race car that does a fucking tornado.
Dude.
And just as we are about to get the most Twisted Metal thing in the Twisted Metal series of this car-on-car violence, Sweet Tooth, Mike, and Stu come flying through the blockade to join the fucking party because Sweet Tooth wants Stone motherfucking dead for killing all of his fans.
Right.
Actually so.
Mm-hmm. Final episode 10.
Man.
SHNGRLA.
Shangri-La.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Because that is what he said New San Francisco was going to be, was his Shangri-La.
Shangri-La.
Listen, if you're a Twisted Metal fan, you don't watch anything else, just watch this, because the showdown, this is what Twisted Metal is. You've got homing missiles and everything, car-on-car violence, and
like Tommy guns on the hood of the car, like
Tommy guns on the hood of the car.
First of all, before any of that even jumps off, Sweet Tooth pulling up with the missiles. First of all,
Yes.
Sweet Tooth was my favorite character to play with from the very beginning, and that was my go-to, was those fucking missiles from the top of that fucking truck. But
It made
then
the
he
sound
has
and
them
everything.
exactly.
It was his. It's called a special. That was his special.
Yeah. Then he has them go in the bag to Harold, and it turns out what's in the bag is lighter fluid
Mm-hmm.
to go right on top of his head to get the flaming head. I actually clapped when that happened because I'm like,
Yes.
you're gonna tell me we're gonna go this whole show, we're not gonna get the flaming
Mhm.
head.
Honestly, I was so entertained. I didn't even think about it until he lit his head on fire, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" He's been going this whole fucking show, and his head wasn't even on fire. It
Right.
didn't even click until he did it.
And the graphics look good, I thought. Because you're
yeah.
kind of wondering like how's it gonna look like with Peacock and everything like that. But yo, it looked better than the Flash movie.
Hell.
We learned that Sweet Tooth maybe isn't exactly the nicest guy that we thought he was because everyone's catching strays and he doesn't seem to care. There are no sides, even though he had friends in there, or I thought they were his friends. He's just like, listen, I'm here to kill Stone, and anyone who gets in my way, that's on them. We got no friends here. I'll kill everybody if I have to. And then Stu's like, all right, fuck. Maybe this guy is someone we should bail on. Maybe
Right.
Mike's right. Maybe we need to get the fuck up out of here. Stone gets the revenge that we're looking for. Quiet, does the same thing to him instead of just opting to kill him that she did to his brother. They also, I don't know how they knew about the bear or if he just brought it with him and it just happened to lay there, but he looked at the bear from the child that he killed and decided to handle things himself. He got off in his own way.
Nice blood.
Jamie and Carl got blown up by a homing missile, which also we watched follow Twister around the fucking track. She guided that motherfucker and let it right into them. So Shadow blew up. What else do we got here?
Well, the car having that like that ramp in order to flip stones.
Yeah.
The car was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
That was some fucking what is that robot fucking
Robot Chicken?
no, the show where you
Oh,
BattleBots.
you talking over the
BattleBots shit.
BattleBot.
Yeah.
Was
That was
is
some
what it was?
BattleBot
Yeah.
shit.
Except for watching it.
Well, no lie. I remember Fast and Furious used that. They had a race car with that like little shovel on there, and
Man.
Nobody's.
I know. I'm sorry to ruin it, but I remember that's where it was from. But
It's probably like Fast and Furious like 9 or some shit.
it was 6.
No.
I was gonna say.
And there wasn't even nothing to it. Those cars were just so low on the front that
Yeah,
they could
exactly.
just run up on the motherfucker like that.
Right.
I watched Dom pick a car up by himself.
Bro.
And that was the point where I
Man.
checked the fuck out of this show,
Listen.
these movies. Like,
It gets worse every time. This motherfucker pulls helicopters down with his
Dude,
car.
listen, but at least he's doing it with a car, right? This
Yeah,
man
but-
picked the entire front end of a fucking car up by himself. Listen, who the fuck do you think you are?
Oh,
I
no.
know you're like, oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in the franchise. He thinks he's strong. I got to look stronger. But no one is just lifting a car up like that and holding it.
No, but they had the car running on the rope of a bridge.
Yeah.
So this
This is what made me never watch a fast movie ever again. This man followed a bomb down that street.
Oh
And-
yeah.
He drives his car off that ramp, knocks the crane into the bomb to knock it into the water. Like,
Yes.
get the fuck out of here. You lost me. I'm sorry.
Or remember the gas?
Anything
Remember the
for
gas
family.
tank?
Ain't no
Remember
way.
the gas
Yeah,
tank? And he timed
Yeah.
it perfectly so when it's flipped, he just drives underneath.
Nope.
come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Uh,
I'm telling you, anyone named Dom is just dope. You know.
Unfortunately, Amber catches friendly fire from Sweet Tooth. The truck also gets blown up by Sweet Tooth, but Amber survives because the chick that forges all the fancy extra shit, she ended up dying, but she ended up saving Amber with some of her homemade limb creating skills and talents.
Good job.
So Watts still has Amber. Flower Power is still an option. Stu and Mike turn on Sweet Tooth when they realize he's completely fucking insane, and Stu shoots him in the head, which he is missing an eye, and I think Twisted Metal Black. So like that was the whole like they shot his eye out thing, and then they bail. Sweet Tooth also then jumps out onto Stone's car, and he's like, "You're getting eye blood all over my windshield."
Ridiculous.
As he's like breaking the windshield, trying to break it in. Quiet. Or is Sweet Tooth dead? That's my question. Is Sweet Tooth dead?
No
No,
way.
did you see the?
You don't
Did you
kill
see
Sweet
the end?
Tooth.
What do you mean? Did I see the end?
Like after the
Oh,
credits.
the post credit scene.
I don't think I did see a post-credit scene.
You watched it through twice and didn't watch the post-credit scene?
Well, because I'm on Peacock and it always just goes to the next episode.
Mine didn't.
Yeah, see, I was doing that too, but as I was rewinding or fast forwarding, I see, oh, there's a scene and they're sitting, out by the lake with a bunch of blow-up dolls, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
I am gonna go watch this as soon as we're done.
Yeah,
neither here nor there. Is it the post? Okay, so that's the thing. All right, yeah, no, I just shut it off because there hadn't been a post-credit scene prior 9 episodes. I didn't think there was gonna be one in episode 10.
That's what I thought, and then I caught it.
I just let it run and it did, and I was like, "Well, hey, what's this?"
All right, so neither here nor there. Back to the show at hand. Quiet and John make their trip. Quiet is not part of the deal. John's allowed in. John's like, you know what? Fuck that. I don't want my dream anymore. I want pussy. And Quiet's like, you're not giving up your dream for pussy. And she fucking shoots him in the leg. So they have to take him in. She steals his new car. And she goes off to be the Robin Hood of milkmen. Yeah, where she's robbing the milkmen to give the shit back to the people who are suffering. Raven gets her delivery, which is ice cream.
This
all that
bitch.
All that for Rocky Road, and she didn't even.
And
like
it wasn't even the right ice
Right.
cream. I was like, you
'Cause she wanted
stupid
pecan,
bitch.
right? She wanted pecan. Is that what it was?
I was like, she wanted something, but I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
It was pistachio.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
pistachio. There you go, pistachio. Yeah.
Regardless, doesn't matter.
This pissed me
Who
off.
doesn't like Rocky Road, by the way? Like,
Well, I mean, all of
psychopath.
this was just proof that John was as good as they thought he was because he had made so many runs for them, and
But
most milkmen don't. So this was just a
Right.
test. It wasn't really about that. It was about because she
Yeah,
needs him to ride for her in Twisted Metal, and that's what all of this is about. They manipulate this man. They have created a fake life. All these people are actors just hanging out in a bar, which, by the way, the name of the bar, which is Kelly's, Kelly is Raven's best friend in the story from Twisted Metal Black, who is bullied and killed, and her whole motivation for joining the tournament to get revenge. So Raven hanging out in Kelly's bar is a nice little touch.
okay.
Yeah. No, it's
It's very
still,
dark
it's still-
stories. That's why Twisted Metal Black came.
Yeah.
I understand.
Super
All very dark.
It still got me pissed. Like I get it. There it was, we're testing the waters with this driver. Like we were just saying, like Fast 2. They send them out to go run to one of his cars in the lot, and then they wound up doing all the shit for a cigar.
And cutter, like terrible.
Yeah, no, we did that for a job. Okay, cool. But ice cream in post apocalypse, no,
Right.
I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, they're all out. They gave him his own apartment. They've got these people pretending to be his friends. They're checking in on him. They even got him they set him up on some like Tinder pussy.
yeah.
He doesn't know how to they did. Like, come on, if this is all a game, they just said, hey, you're gonna fuck John because we need John to stay. We need him to forget about Quiet. So let's make this happen.
I'll tell you what though, because she was the guard that was all aggressive and shit when they pulled. I'm like, yo, she bad.
Oh yeah. Oh, girl, man, come on.
I
was
picked the
ready
right
for
one,
that.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Come on.
He doesn't know how to, handle a pizza delivery. He also gets pizza for the first time. He didn't even know what the fuck pizza was.
He's like, this is
And
pizza.
I
then
appreciate
thanks the
everything
guy
you went through to bring this.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because it got like innuendo is when the pizza came. He's like, I've never had this before. And then she was like, oh, is this your first time? And he's like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, let's try it.
He had a flashback. He had a flashback because you remember.
Oh, he had a
Quiet told
flashback.
him,
Yeah.
Like, have you really never had pizza before?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is what should have told her. Like, you're not dealing with a normal functioning brain in a male when he's never had.
He pays
How
with
much
bullets.
pizza
He
was
pays
there in
with
the
bullets.
post-apocalypse, bro? Like,
There's not a lot.
You could have found something.
I mean, look, you got to figure these characters are average 30-something years old. At some point, at least in childhood, maybe. But I don't know.
despite all of Raven's efforts, John says, fuck it, he's out. He wants to go find Quiet. He can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He can't live this normal life anymore. So then Raven says, all right, fine, but let's just make a stop real quick. And brings John to his childhood home, which, like, would have pissed me off. That this entire time I've been in this place and you knew that I fucking lived here and this is the first time you mentioned it to me. And even then, John's like, you know what? I don't care what's in that house. I don't care about my family. It is what it is. Like, that person is dead and that's not who I am. And then she's like, all right, fuck it. Bitch, you're driving for me. You don't have a choice. Like, you're not going anywhere. This is what you're going to fucking do or we're going to kill you. Like, it is what it is. Game over. I need you. Because I need pecan ice cream and I never got it. So you got to go win this tournament so I can get my fucking pecan ice cream. Pistachio, whatever.
But then there's the lead into what we all were waiting to actually kind of see.
Which is the tournament setup, which gave us A, Mr. Grimm, the actual Mr. Grimm on his motorcycle, and B, Axel, which is essentially Bobby Lashley with two giant truck tires in either hand.
Was that just the dude's back? Was it that guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he literally holds onto tires like this and he stands there and drives.
He's
and
got like
he
a
is
machine
the
gun
car.
or something. Yep.
Like picture Jackson Mortal Kombat, but instead of metal arms, it's wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Dude, that's like my favorite character too. It was him and Sweet Tooth were like the ones I picked.
He
I
sounds
can't wait
awesome.
to see that come to life.
Oh, dude, he is awesome.
Also, last tie into Twisted Metal Black, Quiet, out doing her Robin Hood shit, runs foul of the Dollface gang, and Dollface is the driver of the Dark Side Semi in Twisted Metal Black. And also, apparently, John's sister, who's still alive.
Which I said, no way.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, there was an end credit scene that everyone saw but me, so we're not going to talk about that.
I didn't see it either.
Okay.
I didn't see it either.
Oh,
Okay, Jess.
Make sure you catch it.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what we're gonna do after this?
Yeah.
See somebody pull it up.
Make sure you do.
We all love the show. I can't wait for season 2. Like, I am so ready. I'm hooked. Like I said, I watched it through twice. It was fucking fantastic. So funny. So much fucking fun.
Dude.
You got everything you could want from Twisted Metal.
Hell yeah. And finally got a glimpse at Calypso.
Mm-hmm.
Kinda.
Just as bad.
Did they say that they're renewed? They're getting season 2 or not yet?
Oh, I have no idea, but
I've
I've got to assume they are because they did
Oh.
huge numbers.
I'm about to say, like they
I
for
heard
sure
you
would have
too.
greenlit it because of how well the numbers are doing. It's just a matter of actually making it happen.
Which at this rate, it's never gonna fucking happen.
So the part that pissed me off. All right. So we're just one episode removed of you, like, talking about Quiet. We're just one episode removed from. Okay, all right, he's gone.
He'll be back.
Yeah, she's pissed off at him because he abandoned her for the car and whatever and stuff like that. And,
Right.
you know, she thought they had a bond, they were partners, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you get to San Francisco and they say you can't come in. He says, listen, we're a package deal. If she's not coming in, I'm not coming in. Now you want to turn around and say, oh, no, this is your dream. You're not going to come. You're not going to give this up for me. And you shoot him?
It was the only way to make him go inside.
No, that pissed me off. Not happy about it.
I mean, I wasn't. I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing. I'm not happy about it either. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? But
Bullshit.
in her mind, it made sense. It was the only way
Right.
to get him inside. She's like, "Oh, he needs medical attention. He is
Right.
inside." And even Raven's like, "This bitch, whatever. Just take him inside."
Yeah, no, it pissed me off.
It was kind of
Okay,
like remember that scene in Armageddon where Bruce Willis closes the door on Ben Affleck? It's like she kind of made like the sacrifice move. It was kind of like that. Like
Okay.
it was his dream to be in there, not hers. So, but yeah, shooting though, I don't know. But like that was the only way that he was like not going to show up.
It all just pissed me off.
Have you never been in love before, Riq?
Listen.
Like,
I get
really
it.
in love.
I get it.
Clearly,
get
you
it.
don't get it because
But-
yes, when he finally chose her over the car, that was the last hurdle for her to finally
Ooh,
fully
you're
give
right,
in to
bro.
him
You're
and
right.
realize it. And when you're in love, you're not going to allow someone to sacrifice their hopes and dreams and everything and give everything that they want to do up to be with you. That's what true love is. When he finally showed that she was more important to him than anything else and she could finally let go, then she couldn't let him let go of everything for her. Because this was everything he had been working for and everything that he wanted.
He went from
I guess.
Axel to
True
ass.
love.
Come on, speak on it, Don Juan. Matt Don Juan, right there.
The only thing that pissed me off about the show is the fact that there was an end credit scene that I didn't get to watch. So,
Yeah,
That's-
I mean it's quick, but
It's like 3-4 minutes.
the music was great.
Oh my
the,
gosh.
The fights were great. The stories were great. The lore. Because I know there are going to be people that are like, well, this isn't Twisted Metal because they, listen, they pulled a lot of different things. There are so
Dude.
many games. They're not following one game. I talk about it all the time with movies and properties and things. Like they're doing their own thing. They're making it something. Just be along for the ride and enjoy the Easter eggs and don't nitpick. Oh, well, in Twisted Metal, Black, actually. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares.
I hate people like that.
see, people don't understand the concept of the term adaptation. Adaptation means it's not shot for shot exactly what you saw in the game or the novel or the comic. That's why it's like it's like even like with nowadays with Marvel movies and TV shows, like source material is the comic. So if you know the comic, there's Easter eggs all over the place that you can pick up on, but it's not exactly what it's going to be on the show or the movie.
Right. And they always do it in everything that they do. Any property, book, comic book, other movies, TV show. There's a word in the beginning that says based on. Based on
Yes.
is a key word.
It is.
You know.
Like I said, I can't wait for season 2. So
Dude.
I'm all about that. I can't wait to see who gets cast as Axel, who else we get introduced to. Because I mean, we had fucking Sandman from
Yeah. From
the
Spider-Man
worst
3?
Spider-Man
Yeah.
movie ever made. Thomas Hayden Church. Obviously, you said Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie's motherfucking Anthony Mackie, Samoa
Jason
Joe, voice of Will
Mantzoukas.
Arnett,
Yeah.
Nev Campbell. I didn't even mention Bloody Mary had that Baby Firefly laugh too. Like, definitely gave off Baby Firefly vibes. Are you familiar with the Baby Firefly? You've never seen House of a Thousand Corpses? Devil's Rejects.
Movies.
Okay.
Movies, Matt.
Yeah,
Remember who you're talking to.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop it.
I forgot what drop was John doing, but they had Enjoy, you know that song? Last night I think of you.
Yeah.
Dude, the fact that they had that in here.
Yo, it's the music. The music.
I
was on
literally
point.
stopped, I paused, and I called Daryl. I was like, yo, you gotta watch Twisted Metal, man. They're playing this song. They're playing
I
this
think
song.
that was the first episode.
Was that the
It
first
was.
episode?
It was when they were kind of showing us what a milkman was and does.
Right.
and making his delivery.
Yeah. And the fact that was playing, I was like, yo, this is my show right here. You know?
Yeah, it was on point.
And he was wearing Jordan 1s?
Oh, come on.
Was he?
Come on.
Honestly,
I
you
think-
could lay all sorts of Jordans out in front of me. I couldn't tell the difference between any of them. I couldn't tell you what ones are, and none of it. I would have
It's all
no idea.
We'll have a master class.
Yeah, Justin will teach us all about Jordans.
Yeah, because he got a wall.
It's behind the cans.
Somewhere behind the cans, yeah.
I'm saying the cans are fucking a secret doorway.
It's like a speakeasy.
Into the vault.
Speakeasy, yeah.
This is fucking speakeasy.
But I love this show, man. This show was so good.
It was
Glad
so
they
good.
watched us.
Come
I'm
on.
glad you enjoyed it, Katie.
Blank man?
I'm glad you got hooked. Being someone that hadn't played the games and didn't know much about the franchise, I hope I gave you enough of the Easter eggs to be like,
Yeah,
there's some interesting shit in there.
There's a lot. Now that I know why Sweet Tooth's head is on fire, that makes some sense. Or why he sets on fire. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot. What you said, there's like fucking 8 games or whatever the hell.
Roughly.
So
But most of this season is from Black. So
Yeah.
yeah,
you
so
said
if you
like
just take
mainly Twisted Metal Black, and you said like mainly Twisted Metal 4, I think.
A little bit of 4, a little bit of 3, a little bit of 2, a little bit of the remake.
Okay, so like all games. Never mind.
I mean, like the vehicles are like from all over the place, but like
Yeah, the vehicles are from all over the place, and you got various drivers driving the same vehicles. So they, like I said, Outlaw is a car that's in like everything, and you got different versions. You got the SUV version and the cop car version, and it's got a bunch of different drivers and all sorts of shit.
I think the more important question is that now, with all of this in hindsight, would you go back if you could and play those games, or at least one of them,
Oh
for the
hell
sake
yeah.
of?
probably 2.
'Cause-
2 is like the one I
'cause
played
that-
the most.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
fuck all that. This show, I need a PS5 brand new Twisted Metal game
Oh hell yeah!
Oh,
with
probably gonna
Evelyn
happen.
as a
Yeah.
DLC car.
That's gonna happen. Oh,
I
we
need
forgot
Evelyn
to
in the
mention
game.
when they were building the new car, it was like when you were adding on the new weapons because they were like, okay, you need balance, you need this.
Oh yeah, they were.
When they were doing that in the
So-
scrap place, yeah.
There is on those cards I was talking about for the driver profile. It tells you about the cars and like armor, balance, and speed or something like that, or like the 3 components that they were talking about. If you have too much of one, it throws off the other. Blah blah blah. So like the cars are. I always went for more armor because I got shot a lot because those cars were slow. I was a Warthog guy. I fucked with Warthog hard. It was a tank. It shot 3 fucking missiles at once for its special. Like I was a Warthog guy. He was a corpse, so like the Undertaker.
Of course. I
Yeah.
knew that was the reason. Yep.
Miro fucked in a tank. I was all about the tank before I even knew that. Like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, no, the games are fun as shit. They're hard to play now because, like I said, I went and I got like they released them. I'm like, I'm gonna go get them, and I try playing them, and it's not the way it used to be. But
Yeah.
an
But it's like
updated version would be fucking dope.
But if I had like the old systems, then
Yeah,
Oh yeah, if you could get your hands like on the PS2, then definitely the
I might be able to do it.
second one. You have one still?
my brother might, so I might just take it.
Okay. Well, I do.
the only the only
Come on
one that
over.
didn't come out was Twisted Metal 3, which was probably my favorite just for the Rob Zombie soundtrack.
Yeah.
And Primeval, the main boss, the really big fucking tank that you fought at the end of Twisted Metal 3. And then they had like the snow level, and they had a bunch of really cool levels on that one too. You got to fight outside the White House.
Oh,
White House lawn.
Was that 3? Oh, was that the 3? Okay,
That was
the
3.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Darkseid showed up and tried to fuck you up afterwards. Yeah.
I remember one map was like a circus or something like that. Like it was that track, like that open space, like something like that. That's the most like clear memory I have is playing a lot on that track.
Yeah.
Is that 4?
I think it.
Like the carnival? The carnival?
It was like 2, maybe 3. It was one of those.
Was it in the movie? Was it in the show? I mean,
No. I don't think
no,
so.
it wasn't in the show. Oh, okay.
Because I remember playing it on the first PlayStation, so it had to be like 2.
Okay.
or 3.
It would have been 1 or 2 then, because 3 came out for the
Yeah.
PS2.
Right,
So-
right, yeah.
Yeah. All right. if you guys have anything you want to plug, or if you guys want to plug yourself, now's the time to do it.
Okay.
Nope.
I'll plug myself first. If you like my takes, then you can find me on Getcho Podcast on Twitter, Getcho Podcast on Instagram. You can find us Marks and Mikes usually on Thursday, 7:30 or 8 p.m. I think there's a show. We're doing a show tomorrow. So yeah, find us there on YouTube.
I guess we'll go most alopecia to least alopecia. So Riq, you're next.
My God.
I got the full. So I mean, there's nothing on me. Y'all can find me at RiqHappy24 on Instagram and on Twitter. The Havoc Hour is the precursor for this show. So all of that is still available on all streaming platforms, including the video versions on YouTube. Also, of course, follow us on Young Kings Wrestling at YK Wrestling on all, streaming, Twitter, Instagram. We're also on all streaming platforms. We did not record this week, of course. Sending special prayers and condolences out to both the families of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. Rough week. So TC is going to put out some. I fucks with that shirt. TC is going to put out something a little special for this week. So we're not having our usual episode this week.
I'm going to take a bold guess and say that I've got more hair on my body than you, Katie. So you're up next.
Okay.
Chest, back, legs, face. You got more on your head, but I feel like overall, I got you beat.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter at GatorWrestling13, link to your bio, take all things Daily Showcase, twitch.tv/Daily Showcase, and youtube.com/Daily Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing a Bray Wyatt tribute episode on Thursday. Yeah, so if you want to see me cry for about an hour and a half, go ahead and stop on over. Because I didn't for Matt's, so I had to save it all. But there's a bunch of shit on the channel. You can go check it out.
You almost did. You almost did on the outro. We got you.
Well, no, I told you the outro. A tear fell, but you couldn't see it because you weren't paying attention, and no one else can see what I can see at the bottom. So.
Oh, I could see. I watched. I saw it.
Shut up. No, you didn't.
I mean, a lot of people got kind of choked up last night. So.
Speaking of which, you guys can follow me on Twitter only, either at Matt Ritter for your wrestling content or at Getting Off, which is what this is, this thing right here for the horror content and the stuff. And there's a pinned tweet at Getting Off that has every episode of Getting Off and every horror episode of the Havoc Hour. So you can go check out the horror stuff that we did for the Havoc Hour and then all the Getting Off stuff and have some fun with all of that. All the YouTube links are in the pinned tweet. You can also follow me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Smacking It Raw because it's a thing and I do it now. And I fought it for 6 years and I finally gave in because Elon Musk fucking sucks. Yeah. We did do a Bray Wyatt tribute episode last night in honor of Bray. Katie didn't cry because we tried to keep it fun and upbeat and talk about all the stuff that we loved and the joy that he brought us. I dressed up in full Bray Wyatt garb from balls to the top of my head, like shirt, beard, hat. Like I had shorts on. I don't see Bray in shorts very often. I didn't have the pants, couldn't do that. No one was gonna see it anyway. And we did, we had the Firefly Funhouse background. We had a nice outro. We had an in memoriam intro and just a real good time with a bunch of good people hanging out, talking about one of our favorite wrestlers. So go check that out when you get the chance. If you're a fan of Bray, we would appreciate it. 4, it's your boy Juss, Dr. Riq Baker, BBC. Now I'll start calling him Mr. Slam. And Miss Katie Kinsey, baby. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been the #1 horror podcast on Pornhub.
Skirt.